The Sesh Podcast, episode 222, take one.
Well, howdy, folks. How are y'all doing out there? It is your hostesses with the mostesses,
The
Kendall
mostesses.
and
Janelle.
and we're joined by
the producers with the postesses.
postesses.
What does
Ladies?
that? What does that mean?
Don't know. It's
With
up
the
to
mostesses.
interpretation.
The
What do you think it means?
Posteriors, like your butt?
Oh, it could
Oh,
be that. I
that's
meant like
correct.
post.
Or we
Dang
use
content.
we use the language that we learned last week. What is your butt again?
A gat.
Yacht.
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 You know what it means? It means goddamn.
Oh.
That's like what it's short for. Like
Oh.
goddamn, you can see the ass from the front.
Ooh.
Oh, from the front.
No, wait, how does that work?
When their
It's
ass
so
sticking out,
big.
when their asses are
Oh,
so
like
big.
hips.
Ooh, nice.
I do not be having that.
I do not be having that.
Nor I.
Mm-mm.
I do.
Fine shite.
Today is episode 222.
It
Isn't that
is.
like an angel number, or is every number an angel number?
I think it depends
Angel
on your
number
angels.
222. Let's find out. What are we in store for?
If it's not
Okay?
positive, I don't want to hear
Oh, it's
it.
positive.
It's a message of balance, harmony, trust in the universe, encouraging you to focus on your intuition and spiritual growth.
I love that.
I could use some more of that.
Sure.
It's never enough, you know?
Yeah, totally. I'm down for that.
Trust the
Spiritual
universe.
growth.
It means to trust the natural flow of life and the guidance that you're receiving. Well, today's going to be all about,
Guidance.
spiritual growth. We're going to be talking about a real sussy baka, you could say.
That's true. Sussy baka.
Couple sussy bakas in today's episode.
Yep.
I mean, I guess every week we're talking sussy
Sussy baka.
bakas. We should change the show to the sussy
Sussy
baka
baka.
show.
Instead of the sesh, it's the sussy baka.
I really want sussy baka merch. There were a lot of people that were commenting they would get sussy baka merch.
That's like my new
Okay.
favorite word.
I know,
really.
it's so good.
fun.
Sydney dropped it on the phone with her dad yesterday.
That's iconic.
Yes.
What was the context you used that for?
I just said it to him, and then he was like, "What?" He was like, "What the f does that mean?"
He said, "What the f?"
No, he said, "What the fuck?" But
Well, thanks for sheltering.
He, I was going through, I don't know, it's Gen Alpha, right? Those
Mhm.
words with him, and my sister like knew something like majority of them,
Mhm.
and then my dad's like, "Why do you have to say 3 words for one phrase?" I'm like, I don't know.
Well, what we kind of learned after we recorded, we went back and we
Yeah.
talked to our good friend Tom. Many of you know Tom.
Tom has many younger siblings
Yeah.
that are in the know.
And Ian is also, he's just young.
He's just young.
So he knew all of them and kind of explained to us that these are kind of like ironic words.
Yeah,
like
people
they're
use
not
them-
using them seriously.
And we didn't know that.
So we were sort of trolled by the younger gens.
100%. Also, we thought it was fine shite.
Okay,
Fine
Oh,
shit.
yeah.
that's
fine
100% on me. And I'm also realizing that I'm mentally older than I am physically.
Why is it
So-
shite
Sure.
or
It's
shit?
probably because you're spending too much time with us, dude.
Maybe.
Yeah, you need to ditch us and go hang out with some youngins.
Yeah.
Nah. No, yeah, I felt really, I saw a comment last week saying that I'm acting like a grandma now, that they imagine me sitting at home knitting and watching TV. That is the furthest thing from the truth. Don't know how to knit. But if I did.
do crochet
you-
though, right?
No.
But you
Oh.
do be sitting at home
I can-
crafting, like all of us.
I can help you knit. I do know how to knit. Yeah,
Why does that not surprise me?
yeah,
at all?
because I'm old. So
You know what I would like? I would like to learn how to just do one stitch or like a couple stitches. Like I've got some shit with holes in it. Then it'd be just great to
I
learn
could
how
teach you. It's
really?
like to sew a hole up,
Yeah, like one of Holly's little stuffies has a
small
rip.
hole.
and like it's an important one because it
Mhm.
came from Josh's grandmother who just passed. So I want to like
Mhm.
fix it, but
Mhm.
You
I'm
should learn how to
useless.
sew. No, it's easy.
Is it?
It's really
Yeah.
easy.
Okay.
yeah,
Mm.
and if
Maybe-
you want to learn how to knit, I can help you.
Okay. All right.
make our
I
own
can be
hats.
down
We
with
should
that.
we should do a little craft sesh night.
I
That'd
could
be
be
cute.
up for
I
that.
thought you were gonna say on the show, and I was like, I don't think anyone wants to watch.
No, I don't think so
Try
either.
and learn how to
But
sew.
we
Are you
can
kidding
live-
me?
we
There's
can
gonna be
live
people that
stream
wouldn't
it.
want-
If we live stream us learning how to knit and learning how to sew,
that
would
could
you
be
guys
good.
be down for that?
That could be
all
good.
10 of you who had watched, let us know.
Well, shall we do a little weekend update? We haven't really caught up about each other's weekends.
I went skiing and filed my taxes.
Nice.
Very, very fun. Very productive.
Well, skiing was beautiful. We had beautiful weather in Colorado this weekend.
Yes, it was
living
80
for it.
degrees and in Denver. And where I was skiing, it was like 60 degrees
That's
in the
beautiful.
mountains.
That's so nice.
and it was really pretty. And people were skiing in like no shirt or like
swimsuits.
swimsuits. Yeah.
Right.
I
Chelsea
was not doing that
Handler.
because I'm cold fucking still, but it was very fun.
Did you take off your jacket at any point?
No, well, I have like a big one-piece ski suit, so I couldn't really like take it off. So I just like unzipped it, and then luckily it has like vents that you can like unzip on like the
that's
legs and
convenient.
stuff. So
Nice.
yeah,
Looks beautiful up
it
there.
was very pretty. And then on Sunday I filed my taxes.
That's very good. Very
Thank you.
responsible. Nice
you.
adult weekend. We
Mhm.
love that.
Yes, very
Karelly, you and
responsible.
Summer fun.
Yeah.
Spur of the moment road trip.
Spur of the moment road trip. We went to Grand Teton in Wyoming.
Yes.
And you thought you were in.
Yes and no. So when I wrote that comment, because you made an Instagram post the other day or yesterday
Mm-hmm.
asking if it's spring where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in the middle of not having service, and I was in the Shoshone National Park. Okay. I typed out Shoshone, and the next recommended word was Valley. And I was like, yeah, that sounds right. So then I just, said Shoshone Valley. I just sent it, whatever. And then afterwards, I didn't really think anything of it. Janelle, you texted and you're like, you're in California?
Well, I saw your comment on the post, and I was like, oh my God, what?
Yeah,
I was like, where is
saw
that?
I was so confused. I must have seen it at the same time
Yeah,
because I was like, and then I Googled it.
Yeah, I
and it was
Googled it,
like
it's like
Shoshone
California.
Valley, California.
And
And
I
I
was
was hot
like-
as fuck there. So I was like,
Yeah, and then I
Spring
was
hasn't
also
sprung
like,
there yet?
oh, I didn't know she was in California. I was like, what the
I
fuck
was
are
in
you doing
Wyoming.
So I asked
that's
you.
why I commented. I was like, you coming to work tomorrow?
No, I don't know why I said Valley. It just sounded correct, and it was not. Me and Ethan went to Grand Teton for the weekend. Very, very spontaneous road trip.
Spontaneous.
Yeah,
Was it nice up there?
It was really cold, actually.
Yeah.
Well, not really cold. The high was probably like 50 degrees. But it was
Okay.
still super snowy. We wanted to go to Yellowstone really, really bad
Oh,
because it was
yeah.
probably like an hour and a half from where we were staying. We went at the worst time possible. We literally went to a shop and they're like, so what brings you to Jackson at this time of year? Why are you here? And we're like, oh, we just wanted to go on a road trip. And he's like, oh, well, you came at the worst time possible because everything's like closed. Like literally most of the shops are closed. I mean, they open.
Why? Why is it?
Just for the winter.
Oh, I see.
They open next week.
Oh, no.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but
Just
it
a
was still really
weekend.
fun. It was still really, really fun. We saw most of Grand Teton, and like we wanted to go hiking, but obviously like all the trails were closed because there was literally like 7 feet of snow.
Mushy, slushy.
Not even.
mud.
It was just like
Snow.
packed
Yeah.
snow.
Oh, okay.
Like,
I see.
It's too damn cold.
Yeah, but it was beautiful. It was a beautiful weekend. We got back last night. Yeah, it was a great road trip. Great time.
Nice. That
Love,
sounds fun.
great
I
time.
love a good road trip.
Me too. I forgot how much I like a road trip.
Yeah.
I fucking hate the road
Yeah,
trips.
I'm not.
Oh, see, all you need is like
you
a
can
good
sleep though.
I could sleep in my bed.
I was pitching to Josh that I think Holly's old enough where it wouldn't be horribly annoying to go on a road trip. And I was like, we should maybe go to like Telluride or something this
Yeah.
summer, like a couple hours, because I could use the time to sleep in the car. Because I fell asleep in the car for like 30 minutes yesterday and it was so nice. It's like, why don't I do this more often?
Yeah, dude, just bring have a couple podcasts queued up. And
Yeah.
I was listening to The Good
Snacks.
Guys.
Oh.
It's
Is that
Josh Peck's new podcast
Oh.
with his friend.
Mm.
I was
I like
listening,
him.
I was listening to the episode with Drake Bell.
Oh,
Dude, it was actually really, really good. Like he talks a lot about the whole thing with Brian. He
Yeah.
talks about like a lot of stuff.
It was crazy
makes-
how Josh didn't know any of that was going
Mhm.
on.
I know, and they talk in depth about all of that.
There's
Yeah,
a bunch
I
of
saw
clips
some-
going around.
Mhm.
Yeah. I've
Yeah,
seen.
it was good. It's a 2-parter, and yeah,
I need to
listened
check that out.
Yeah, you should. But yeah, good weekend.
What about you, Sid?
I stayed local, but it was since it was so nice. Jared and I hit up the patio to grab a marg.
El Patio.
No, just like I was like wanting to go to a patio, so we went to La Perdita or Perdita.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's really good.
Ooh, I love that place.
Yeah, I was Saturday, and then Sunday we just kind of hung out, kind of took it easy.
Chillin'.
Oh, Costco.
Oh, always a
Costco.
win. with
Have
a
you
Costco
filed
trip.
your taxes, ladies?
Yes, I did.
Oh yeah, I filed them like the first day you could.
Oh.
Yeah, I did it a long time ago. Well, I didn't. Josh did. I don't do things like that. Math is not my strong suit, as we all know.
It's not mine either.
Josh is not doing math.
No.
You got accountants for that.
True. Very true. Yes.
I got
As far as like
TurboTax.
organizing all that and getting it all
too.
together.
Same.
Mm,
Turbo
yeah.
tax.
I love her.
Well, speaking
What'd
of
you do this
Costco,
weekend?
I heard that they have the Dubai chocolates.
Yes.
They're like selling them at Costco.
Yes.
How fresh are they?
Actually, Baron Lee told me about that from my episode. You may know him as Asian 50 Cent, as he has really coined that term as his.
Love.
And he was telling me that they have them. So I went this weekend up to the mountains and we went to Old Colorado City. I have never been there. And it was so funny because last week when we tried the Dubai chocolate bar, the viral Dubai TikTok chocolate bar, and we were like, kind of meh, it's not worth $35. There were people commenting, you should go to Colorado or Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory, and they have their own Dubai truffles that are that are better.
So is Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory like all over the country?
I don't know. I think it's in.
They're all
it started
over Colorado.
here. I think.
I would assume.
And it used to be when we were kids. Like we got a picture with the bear when we were somewhere.
I don't know.
There's a picture of us as kids in front of one, but now they're more
kind of all over the place.
Yeah, they're like at outlet malls but I just happened to be at one, so I picked you guys up some chocolates.
Woo!
Yes.
Let's try.
So we're gonna test it out.
And they're the Dubai chocolates.
Yep. They were even called Dubai chocolate truffles.
I have a feeling these will be better because
I'm gonna cut them in half because they're big.
Factory is usually pretty decent.
It's very good.
Their
Holly
caramel apples slap so hard.
Oh my god, dude.
Oh
They're apples. So I convinced Holly, and Josh was like, "This is what you wanted. You like forced her to do this." She wanted to pick. She picked out like these marshmallows with
not good
with fruity pebbles on them.
Marshmallows, yeah.
And I was like, "No, dude, trust me. You're gonna want one of these caramel apples. They're so good. You're gonna love it." And I was like, "I can get some fruit downer in the process." And there was like bunny one, so I held her up and I was like, "Do you want one of these?"
I saw that picture.
Yeah, so she picked one of those, which it was like $15 for this caramel apple. But then I already told her she could get it before I even looked at the price, and it was very, very good. Their caramel apples are so bomb, but she didn't like it at all.
Oh, damn.
She wanted the jelly bean off of it, and then it had like white chocolate ears, and she ate that. And then Josh was like, "You should have just let her pick out what she wanted. You just thought that she would like this better." And I was like, "You're so right. I wanted it," was the truth about it.
Well,
you know, they like will cut it for you if you ask them, which is
the
nice.
apple.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
it was
cut
so
it right
good.
on the table.
It was like had like brown sugar on the outside with caramel and white chocolate.
I went to Buc-ee's on the way.
Did you get some Bucky nuggets or whatever that fucking thing is called?
No, but I got some Cosmic Pops.
Ooh,
oh my
what's
god,
that?
I wanted to stop on the way back, but we didn't.
Are those like cosmic brownie related?
No. So they're like they are like Pop Rocks covered in like white chocolate, but they were
Fuck yes.
But they were cotton candy flavored.
Oh, bro, you should have brought some back.
I know. I'm gonna go back.
My god, look at that. That looks amazing.
Bro,
wait, what's in the middle?
Like Pop Rocks.
Ooh. Oh, I've had something similar to that before.
Wait, that looks
and then
so
they're fudge. Guys, like Buc-ee's is like lit.
You guys want to come grab these?
Dude, I want to fucking go to Bucky.
There's more locations coming to Colorado.
Yeah.
We'd have to get a shirt.
I just hate barbecue, and I feel like the smell of that place alone would freak me out. But let's
I'd like one, please.
if they are any good.
All right, here we go.
Cheers. People always comment about how you can't hear the crunching sound and you wish you could. Our software takes it out.
Yeah, sorry.
Better. This is really good. A lot better.
Way better.
Mm-hmm. The chocolate is better quality.
Is it supposed to taste like pistachio?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's pistachio in there.
Do you like
what do you guys think?
Karelly doesn't like it.
I like it. I don't think it's that much different than last week's.
I feel like I should have kept it in the fridge. I've had it out all morning.
I will say these are crunchier. Listen, you weren't here last week.
No.
But this is crunchier. I guess I do like it better.
It's good.
Very good. We have more things to try.
All right.
Popeyes has come out with a pickle flavored lemonade, but Karelly is very sus about it. She doesn't believe that it's actually
Very
pickle.
sussy baka.
She's like, this is a sussy baka because it doesn't really look. It just looks like lemonade. And then also they fucked up Sydney's drink, so you're questioning their abilities.
I am. Yeah.
I was pissed off.
Yeah, I was pissed off.
What did you order?
A Dr. Pepper. But,
And what came?
Nothing.
You got screwed.
Yeah, they screwed us over. Also, I don't know what Popeyes is doing, but they're trying to be like a Five Guys type. And did you notice that our fries?
Five Guys?
Yeah, our fries were in like in a bag.
Ew.
I was wondering if it, like,
fries suck ass.
Were they Cajun?
They were Cajun.
I like the Five Guys fries.
They taste like uncooked potatoes.
I just don't like that they put it in a
squishy
bag.
Ugh,
Yeah, I don't like
squishy
the
fries
bags.
need to die.
That's my favorite.
Cheers.
All right. Are these any good?
Ew. Disgusting.
Oh,
Okay,
really?
Karelly? Definitely
Definitely
pickly.
pickly.
Lots of pickle.
I don't really like it.
I'm surprised that you don't like this because, like, didn't we get another drink with this, the soda? The Sonic soda was way more pickly than this.
Wait,
Actually, I
Janelle,
think
what do
I
you not
it.
like about
No,
it?
actually, I think I like it. I just didn't like it at first. Maybe it was the
Yeah,
chocolate.
and you just need to sip on it. It's actually pretty good.
I actually think I like it.
I think I like it a lot.
I think I do
What does
too.
it taste like?
Like, you want to taste it?
Like lemony pickle?
Yeah, but after
Yeah.
the first sip, the pickle kind of goes away. It just tastes like lemonade.
Yeah, it just tastes like, get a couple of sips down. And then let the aftertaste kind of sit.
It's good. I like it.
At first, you're like, ew.
No, I think I like it.
The more you drink it, it becomes more subtle.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't really like it.
Taste it again, though.
Yeah, let it simmer. And wash down my...
Yeah, the dill or the pickle kind of goes away.
Yeah.
It's refreshing.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Kind of tastes like liquid IV.
Ooh.
Yeah, it does. I can see that. Salty.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that bad.
No, it's pretty good.
I don't know if I can. No, I can drink a whole cup of this.
Yeah. I think I can sip on it throughout the episode and it won't bother me. It's good. What do you give it out of 10? Yeah, 7?
7.
7.
Yeah.
I agree. 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10. 6, 7.
I think the key with a pickle drink is to just have the pickle flavor in there, like add a little juice and not let a whole pickle just simmer in there. Like when we got the sodas and there were just pickles sitting in it, by the time it had been sitting in there for like 2 hours, it got disgusting. It was way too much.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
Versus they just add a set amount of juice and it's not going to just simmer in
Right.
there.
You don't want any
Ooh.
pickles simmering.
Mm-hmm.
Or marinating, kind of.
No.
You know what would be kind of good? And I just have this crazy idea. Call me crazy. But I'm drinking Coke with lime powder.
Don't say.
Oh, I love
that.
that.
I know, me too. But imagine that with some pickle in
Don't
there.
say it.
Actually, that
Ooh.
could be really good.
Diet Coke with pickle? Yeah, I think it
Yeah.
could be good. I've been really into adding sugar-free syrups to my Diet Coke. Chanel's mom turned me on to that.
So also like your
lime
brown
and
cows.
cherry. So good. Oh, I do love my brown
What's
cows.
a brown
with-
cow?
Well, a traditional brown cow is just milk and Diet Coke. My sister used to fuck those up as a kid. She loved them.
Milk
then-
and Diet Coke.
Disgusting.
But you've tried my
Oh, yeah, but
I
you
add
get
my
the
like protein shake to a Diet Coke sometimes in the morning so I can skip coffee and get some caffeine.
Is a brown cow like a normal, like people
Yeah.
normally drink
It's
that?
a term.
It's
It brown
big in
cow
the-
drink.
It's big in the Midwest, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Milk with soda. I mean, think about the Mormons down in Utah. They're always adding to their sips the cream, heavy
cream.
cream, you know?
Oh yeah, dude,
like
it's almost
same-
like a
same
float.
vibe. Yeah.
Like a fruit beer
Like a
float or
cream
something.
soda.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like you just don't have enough space in your head? Like it's just filled with so many thoughts and anxieties and, you know, the chaos of the news cycle and things going on in your personal life. You need to make some headspace. And that's why I'm here to tell you about Headspace today, the sponsor of today's episode. And I've been using Headspace for years. I'm telling you guys, wonderful app. Incorporating meditation into your daily routine, although it can be very difficult at first, is so helpful for your overall mental health. If you haven't heard of Headspace, it's the app that has helped me and 100 million people with their mental health and well-being with guided meditations, mindful practices, breathing and calming exercise, and so much more. I actually found it after my dad found it, and he was just raving about it, so I had to give it a shot, and it was such a game changer for me, you guys. And what makes Headspace different is they combine scientifically proven benefits of meditation and mindfulness with modern practices, and you learn from experienced meditation teachers. The app has customized, personalized approaches to help you navigate through all of life's moments, big and small. And whether you are a total newbie or have been meditating for years, there is always content for what you're specifically going through. Whenever I use it, it feels like it was made just for me. And when I'm short on time, Headspace has these quick on-the-go programs that help me get in the right headspace in just a few minutes. Plus, with over 1,000 hours of mindfulness exercises, it's got the most complete meditation library I have ever seen. Feel good and mean it when you say it. For a limited time, get Headspace for free for 60 days. You guys, that is such a great deal. Just go to headspace.com/thesesh. That's HEADSPACE.com/thesesh to unlock all of Headspace free for 60 days. That's headspace.com/thesesh. All right, in other news, guys, you better
This
all be
is
really proud of
exciting.
me because I went to the eye doctor this morning.
Woohoo!
And guess who's got contacts in her eyeballs right now?
You do, girlfriend.
I do. And I can see. I can actually read the screen right now. It's amazing. Wow.
It's not even zoomed in right now.
I know. I can read everything on the screen. It's wild.
I'm so proud of you.
What it's like to have vision. The contacts are still like doing this weird blurry thing. Janelle told me it just kind of, you got to get used to it.
You have to
And
wear
it feels
them
like I have
for,
something in my eye.
you got to wear them for a couple days in a row.
I've had them in for like 3 hours now, maybe even longer.
Mm-hmm. But
Yeah, like 4 or 5 hours.
The key is putting them back in tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is I haven't taken them out yet. And that's my issue is taking them out. Because I was able to get them in. That wasn't too bad. I'm worried about taking them out. I'm going to FaceTime Janelle tonight.
See, you're going to be fine because you have no problem touching your eye and stuff. Like,
no, I don't.
So you'll be fine.
That's why I don't know why it bothers me so much. Because I literally could like touch my eye all day and it doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
I think the idea of something being stuck in my eye, I start panicking that it's never coming out. Right. And then I like spiral. I'm
going to warn you that one day, if you continue wearing these, they will go up in here in your eyelid. They will not get lost. They will not roll to the back into your brain.
Right,
it's impossible. You just might have to like do a little fishing. And it's annoying. It happens very rarely.
Okay.
Like maybe once a year for me.
All right.
But
it might happen. Really scary.
Okay. Another thing too is if sometimes they do get really dry when you're trying to take them out. And you will have a time where you can't pick it up, so you're like pinching your eyeball
a little bit.
Don't do that. I mean, you can a little bit, but like don't go too hard.
But, like it's not that bad.
It's not that bad. Sometimes I get so frustrated. I say fuck it and I just walk away. And I'm like, I have like an eye patch in because I can't see with one eye because I took one out, not the other one. And I come back to like 30 minutes later.
Oh really?
Yeah. Like sometimes I have to like cry it out and like make myself cry to like
cry it out.
That's a whole new term.
Cry it out method.
Yeah.
Well, we found out my prescription, and Janelle has been convinced that mine is going to be worse than hers. So do you have yours?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you where I was last time, because I will tell you that it was worse than last time.
Yep.
Which wasn't a surprise. I mean, we all knew that me refusing to wear, contacts or glasses other than when I'm in the car. Obviously, it's gotten worse because my eyes have been more strained. So I'm just like so confused because it is a little different in some ways than last time. So my
really,
last eye exam,
you're gonna look at either it's called Power or it might have like a D on it.
Nothing says Power for me. I just have Cylinder and Sphere, and OD and OS, which OS is left.
Cylinder and Sphere. I think. Let me make sure.
That's how my last one was. So my last eye exam was January 12th of 2023. So it hasn't been that long. Little over 2 years.
Yeah.
Long enough. And back then it was -2 in both eyes. It was plano. The Sphere was plano for both. That's what's changed.
What the fuck are you saying?
I don't know. Plano. It says sphere, plano for both eyes. Today, it was -50 for plano. And then 1 is plano.
Wait, okay. I think it says the plano eye does not require any corrective power for nearsightedness.
Oh, so that's just nearsighted? Okay, so now I have some nearsightedness going on. That's what it must mean.
Okay.
Because now for Sphere, I have -50. So that's a new...
Wait, 50?
I think plano just meant... Yeah, no, sorry, -0.50.
Okay, I was like, dude, that is bad. I don't think that's a thing.
-0.5.
In both of them?
No, just in the right eye.
Okay.
So I have some nearsightedness going on now.
Okay.
Which was never an issue for me.
What's the other one?
So then it's only... They were both -2 for Cylinder.
Yeah, I don't care about Cylinder. That's like the shape of your eye.
So what are we looking at then? That's all Sphere. I got. Yeah, that's Sphere's plano.
Wait.
Yeah, it's -5. So the only thing that's changed is -5 on the right eye for Sphere. And then Cylinder, I've added an extra 0.25. And I will bet money right now that they are still not as bad as yours.
So Cylinder indicates the power needed to correct astigmatism.
Okay.
So, here's what we got going on. I'll tell you.
Okay.
Your astigmatism is worse than mine. My cylinders are -1.75 and -0.75. So you have more of a fucked up shape eyeball than I do.
Yeah, he said it's especially bad on the left, which is confusing that they're listed as the same. Oh, this is black eye. Okay, wait, what does it say? Are they the same? That's interesting that they're the same here, because he told me that the left eye was much worse as far as my astigmatism.
Yeah, I don't know, because
he was like, I'm not going to be able to make your vision perfect on the left eye.
Well, I don't really know. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm a little confused.
I don't know.
I never understand this.
I don't plano.
What's plano?
No vision corrected is needed for distance vision. It means that no prescription for either nurse or
For distance? That makes no sense. That's my main issue.
But what was your sphere?
So your OS is like perfect vision. One of them. It's just you have a fucked up shape. So it's helping your astigmatism.
So it's just helping is the astigmatism what's making it go like this?
Your left eye is fine.
It's not fine.
As far as like how blind you are, how bad your vision is.
So is astigmatism what's causing the like doubling and tripling of things? Okay.
Yes.
So the vision is fine.
But your vision is okay because you got plano. So you don't have neither near or farsightedness. You just got plano.
But that's...
I don't know what the hell that means.
But not for the...
But not for your right. Your right is negative 0.5.
This is from 2021.
Yeah,
so it's gotten a little bit worse every time I've gone.
Okay.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, I'm still confused because now that the one I'm looking at, the sphere is not plano. It's 0.5.
See, this is what I'm getting something different.
So maybe
every
it got
time
better.
I go to someone different.
So maybe your eye got better. You know, your vision can get better after you have a kid.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it got worse after you have a kid.
It can do both.
Okay.
Well, the bottom line is, Kendall, your eyeballs have a fucked up shape. However, my eyeballs work worse.
Yeah, exactly. Which I knew was going to be the case.
Which pisses me off.
Well, that's why
I will accept
I've been able to like muddle through without any lens correction.
Okay, fine.
Because if if you lived like the way I was, it would suck for you more.
Yeah, well, I can see. Because some people literally can't fucking see even like how many fingers are holding up a foot away from you. I can see most things. It's just not a good time at all.
Wait, so what was your prescription?
Mine is negative 1.5 in my right, or in my left. No, sorry, in my right, and negative 1.25 in my right. So it's still not that bad.
What is yours?
So mine's worse.
No.
So what's Kendall's?
2.25.
No, but that's your sphere. That's not the power of your...
No, that's cylinder.
Right. Sorry, yeah.
Why do they make this so hard?
I don't know. It's stupid. But no, you got plano. So you got...
so it's different.
Literally never heard of that.
Okay, because like mine is -2 and -1.75.
Yeah. Sphere?
Sphere.
Yeah.
So that's like, that's like distance you can't see, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Kendall can see.
But my issue is distance, and I can't see distance.
Yeah, but in one eye, it seems as though in one eye the actual vision isn't bad. I think maybe just the astigmatism is fucking around.
Because you have plano.
Okay.
Because you got plano, so it's all good. But you got football plano. So that's the new diagnosis.
No, I still do not understand.
Kendall has football plano.
But
in one eye. In the left eye, you got football plano. In your right eye, you got football negative 0.5.
Negative 0.5.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
If we have any optometrists in the comments, let us know what this means.
So it's overall not that bad that I've been not wearing glasses.
No, but you know what's so cute and fun?
What?
We have the same contacts. AccuV Oasis with Hydrolux.
It's so
for
fun.
Astigmatism. That's so cute of us, Kendall.
It is.
Winning.
We would.
Fun.
Did you get any glasses?
No, I think I'm going to get some new updated ones. I'm just going to order them online.
I always order mine online too.
Yeah, my insurance would either cover the contacts or the
You know what's so...
the contacts. And I got a year supply so that I can't weasel my way out of wearing them. I was like, that will force me to have to do this and get used to it.
You'll think yourself.
Yeah, I will.
Great. Okay, well, the mystery is solved.
Mystery is solved. And now I really can see a lot better. Like, I can't believe how well I can see my monitor in front of me. And then the screen, wow. Yeah, I'm not even getting any, like, doubled.
You haven't even seen Holly yet. You're going to be like,
I know.
Oh my God, she's so beautiful.
Well, what happened this morning is I was sitting in my office with my producer. She's in town right now. She just moved. She's still working with us. But I was doing my makeup and I'm talking to her and I'm like, why is my makeup turning out so bad today? Like, I don't know what's on my face. I'm thinking like I have greasy skin or something. And then it dawned on me. It always looks this bad. I just can't see it. Because under my eyes, like, there are some, like little pockets almost.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that? Where the foundation all, like, bunches
I don't like
up?
to look at my skin closely when there's makeup on because it always looks bad.
But you have to look closely to put your makeup on. And
I know.
It was nice when I could barely see it.
That's why, yeah. I don't know what to
Now
tell
I'm going to
you,
want
sweetheart.
Botox.
Wait, you couldn't see the little like pockets under your eyes? Like the
little, the little like spacey things.
Yeah, like where like concealer will
I've seen
get
them,
stuck.
but it's never looked as bad as it looked today. It was like clear as day how bad it was looking. And I was like, oh my God, I think I need to like work on how I apply concealer because I think I've just been like throwing way too much on or I don't know. Yeah, I've been caking it.
Less is more, they say.
And now I want Botox. But I also want to have another baby. I don't want to get Botox before I have a baby.
Why?
Because you can't get
Botox
but
while
you're pregnant.
At least you'll be hot for like the first half of your pregnancy.
Yeah, well, that's when things start really going downhill towards the end. And that's like when my nose gets so big in pregnancy. Like the cartilage swells up. And I don't need another thing to feel bad about when my Botox starts dissolving mid-pregnancy. So I'm going to wait for that. That's going to be a treat after I have another baby one day.
Okay.
I do want the Botox. I'm not pregnant.
I would love some Botox.
Same.
I want someone to come give us Botox on the show.
Oh my, yeah.
Sounds fun.
That'd be sweet.
Get a doctor to come.
Botox is really good for migraines.
Can be.
Mm-hmm.
And for TMJ.
Can be.
So I'm going to be like,
the like masseter thing.
Yeah. I want to get it.
Really and for self what? Never mind. What's it called?
Self-worth.
Yes.
Self-loathing. It makes you hate yourself less.
That should be covered under insurance.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mental health.
Exactly. Well, ladies, shall we get into today's topic? We have a crazy story to go over today.
Fucking crazy.
So this is in the realm of like, who the fuck did I marry? This guy, Brett Fairley, has shared his story to the masses. And from what I understand, he has shared this story a couple times over the years, but it never really got as much traction as it is now. And there's more reason that, because now he's getting like really fucking mad.
Yeah.
And getting serious about what he's trying to do here.
And his girlfriend was getting a lot of hate, and I think that like got him.
Yes,
that's his current girlfriend also has a lot of followers.
Yeah, her name is Nurse Hadley, or Hadley. So some of you guys may know her, and maybe you have seen this story, but it is absolutely wild, and they kind of wanted to amplify his story because it is truly fucked, and we'll go into the details of it here in a moment, but get ready for your mind to be blown because it's just, God, people are so fucking horrible.
So it starts off crazy as it is, but then as you get more into it, the twists that happen and the shit that's like revealed is even more whack. And honestly, because I was watching a YouTube, he was on a podcast, and I was watching that as like the first thing just to prep for it and stuff before I started reading other articles and reading the outline. And when he dropped this piece of tea, I was like, oh, wow, I did not see that coming.
Yeah,
it's fucking crazy.
Absolutely insane. I actually, to be honest, I saw it coming like right from the start because he said something in the beginning where I was like, oh.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Maybe I'm just gullible.
I just think you haven't been pregnant before. All right, well, let's take a quick break and then we'll get into it.
Over the years, I have talked to so many people in my personal life that have expressed a want and interest and desire to start therapy, but maybe they don't exactly know where to start, or they live in a space where it's not easily accessible, or they're not able to easily, drive to the therapist's office, or maybe they find a therapist, but they don't take their insurance. And for whatever reason, there's a lot of times where therapy is just not easily accessible for people. And that is why I'm so excited to talk to you guys about Rula today, because Rula has made healthcare more convenient and accessible for tons and tons of people. Rula is on a mission to make high-quality mental health care from a licensed professional easy and affordable for everyone. They take most major insurance plans, and the average copay is only $15 per session. And Rula isn't just affordable. They stick with you throughout your journey, making sure you get the best therapy and that you're making progress. With Rula, every provider is carefully vetted and chosen for their expertise, and you'll always know you're in the hands of quality providers who are dedicated to making real progress in your care. Rula partners with a network of over 10,000 therapists and psychiatrists nationwide, enabling you to find your personalized solution and the right therapist for you based on your needs, preferences, and state requirements. And they're committed to supporting you and staying with you every step of the way on your mental health journey, from finding the right therapist to helping you schedule appointments and monitoring your progress. And what's unique about Rula is that most online therapy platforms focus on connecting clients with licensed therapists, but they often fall short when it comes to help with medication management. But Rula has a wide range of licensed professionals, including including psychiatrists who will help you get the care you need. If you've been on the fence about trying therapy, or maybe you have done therapy in the past and it just hasn't worked out for whatever reason, I highly recommend trying Rula. Thousands have already trusted Rula to support them on their journey towards improved mental health and overall well-being. Head over to rula.com/sesh to get started today. After you sign up, they ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them our show sent you. Go to rula.com/sesh and take the first step towards better mental health today. You deserve quality care from someone who cares.
All right, guys, Brett Fairley. All right, so got a nice looking picture of him here up on the screen.
He's a fisherman.
Holding the fish, you know, the classic
Men and their fish.
Mhm.
Men and their fish.
men and fish in the wild. And he's from Nashville, and he's going off these days on TikTok and Instagram about this crazy situation that he had with this girl named Maria, who's also from his hometown. And he says he was helping her have a baby, but things went totally sideways. And he has broke down this story piece by piece, and it is absolutely wild. Like, once I started going through it, I was hooked into this fucking story, okay? He actually has a 9-part series. Like I said, he's talked about it other times. I believe there are other breakdowns of it, but he never gave as much detail. And those were, as I understand, like with less anger. Because now the dude is pissed, and rightfully so. It is fucked up. And I will just say right off the bat, Brett has fully owned his own stupidity in this situation, which I really appreciate. He knows what he did was a real bonehead move, okay? Yeah. He did not think this through. He was young. And, I mean, even when you're young, you should probably know better than to do something like this. But at least he has, fully owned that. So I think we can all just give him a pass. We don't need a bunch of comments about how dumb he is. He knew it was dumb at the time, and he has since matured and aged as humans tend to do. He has learned from his mistakes. But in this 9-part series, Brett lays it all out and presents us with these binders full of text receipts, timelines, and proof. I mean, he is fully calling out the whole situation, the lies spread by this girl, Maria, and also by many people online. And yeah, this binder is thick as shit, okay? We can do a little zoom in on this. Look how much evidence he has collected. Because the dude's been through a lot, and so has his family. Like, it's truly a fucked up situation. Never ceases to amaze me how whack people can actually be. So,
This is a real ass thing.
Also, just a note, he did say he's going to be coming out with more.
Mm-hmm.
So
There might be more by the
Yeah.
time this episode goes live. He
So-
hasn't.
he's been
Post up on
uploading
it.
every day,
Yeah.
though, pretty much. Maybe
Mhm.
like taking a day or two break.
Which I'm
And
curious.
of course, the
what else
comments on TikTok have been brutal. I mean, mostly in support of him, but I've seen somewhere like, you're such a dumb fuck. And
Which
it's
is like,
Well, I
dude,
mean,
he
kind of
knows.
is. He kind of is, though.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this was
Yeah.
really, really stupid.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
you know what? We all do stupid things. Some things.
Stupider than others.
Yes, exactly.
Amen.
This was quite dumb, but it came out of kindness of his own heart, and for the situation, he actually really stepped up and did his best.
I was
like, it was
honestly impressed.
impressive.
Yeah, I agree.
Much more than the average man, I
Yes.
think.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So kudos to Brett in a lot of ways.
Mhm.
So let's go through the whole breakdown, the timeline, the receipts. All right. So part 1, we're going to break this down part by part from his TikTok series. Okay. So December 12th, 2020. Picture what it was like. It was wild right back then, right?
The Ronies was rampant.
And that's why it's kind of interesting that this all happened during
Rampant
that.
Ronies.
Not the greatest time to be engaging in such activities.
True.
It's a whole nother.
I didn't even think about that.
Wait. I just had a thought. Okay,
Yes.
so this happened in December 2020, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Were restaurants even open again back
Yeah,
then?
they were.
Well,
think in
this is also Tennessee.
Nashville. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. It was state by state.
was state by
Colorado
state.
was pretty shut down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Over in the South, they didn't really shut things down.
Yeah.
Mhm. Especially by the end of 2020, things eased up a lot. And
Yes,
then remember, it got
yeah.
worse in 21.
Well, there was like outdoor seating too, and
Like the
Mhm.
bubbles.
The bubbles,
and-
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Fuck, what a time.
What a
So,
time.
again, December 12th, 2020.
2020.
12/12/2020. Brett and his brother had gone out for lunch, just a nice little brotherly lunch date. And it turns out that the restaurant that they picked was hosting this birthday party. And it happened to be this girl named Maria's birthday party. And they just joined in on the celebration, kind of crashed it in a way.
Mhm.
Not a, it
Yeah,
seems
yeah.
like they were invited to do so. They had some drinks and then they all went out later that night. Now, it's unclear whether Brett or Maria were the only ones who went out after the party or if others tagged along. But either way, Brett and Maria ended up having a one-night stand that night.
Happy birthday, Maria.
Happy
Yep,
birthday,
she had
girl.
a nice birthday. And at the time, Brett was 24 And according to him, Maria was in her 30s. And after that night, Brett said that he would see Maria around, around town when he was out with his friends, and you could kind of consider them casual friends, almost really just like acquaintances. Yeah. We've had this one night stand, but they had not slept together again after that one night. So they just like knew of each other.
They knew each other.
yeah, they did. Brett also mentioned that Maria had sort of reputation for sleeping around, including with a few of his friends, which obviously no shame there. That's
do what you want.
Fine. But it's really not a key part of the story at all, but he felt like it was worth noting. So they didn't talk too much after that, but then randomly, out of the blue, in April of 2021, so like 5-6 months later, she reached out and asked Brett if he would be willing to be the sperm donor for her so that she could get pregnant. And at first, he was like, absolutely not. Why the fuck would I do that? But after some convincing, he felt like he would be doing something good for someone. And he did a podcast recently. What's the name of the podcast? I think it's called Real Talk.
Real Stuff or
Real something.
Yeah, the Real Stuff.
Real Stuff. The Real Stuff. And who's the host of that? Just to give her a little shout out to.
Lucy
Fink.
Oh, Fink. Yeah.
Okay. So, and this, maybe you guys can go check out the episode. Support.
Yeah, go
Brett.
watch it because the whole episode is about him telling the story. And
and I'm surprised it only has, I think, like 14,000 views. So go give them some love on that because it's even more in depth than the multi-part series. So he obviously at first was like, no, don't think that's a good idea. But after some convincing, he did feel like he was going to be helping her out. And he compared it in that podcast to, if someone, even an acquaintance, asked you for $20 or even a stranger, that he would give it to them.
Yeah, which I'm like,
giving someone $20.
Giving someone $20 is a lot different than giving someone your sperm.
Exactly.
My dude.
Yeah. Maria's whole rationale behind the whole thing was that she had been single forever and wasn't having any luck with men. And as we mentioned, she's older than him. She's in her 30s. And all of her friends were having kids and she just wanted to have a baby, which is totally fine. And a lot of people decide to, have babies on their own. And they normally go to an actual sperm donation clinic and do it that way. But she wanted to just kind of do it on her own.
A discount. Don't
discount. Very highly discounted.
So when she first mentioned wanting him to help her have this baby, she was clear. He wouldn't be involved at all. It's just give me the sperm and you never have to hear from me again. That's it. And obviously that's a very naive thing for him to be like, okay,
yeah,
all right.
That you don't believe. When someone tells you that you don't believe that.
No, absolutely
You don't believe.
No.
Yeah, she told him that he wouldn't have to bear any responsibility and could just be the sperm donor with no strings attached.
No,
That's just not how it works. There are always going to be strings attached when you are the father of a child.
Yeah. Especially there's no
there's no legal
contracts.
Yeah, exactly.
There's nothing.
Yeah, and I'm sure, as he said, hindsight is always 20/20, which is very true. But also, in the moment, in a situation like that, it's pretty 20/20 of what you should do. And it's I wonder, was there not anyone maybe he didn't tell anybody, but was there not anyone in his life that was his friends, dude, you should at least get some legal.
No, his friends were like, don't fucking do this.
Yeah.
His friends were like, you're dumb for doing this.
And he didn't tell his parents at the time.
I don't think so, no.
Yeah.
Until after, I think, or around the time it actually happened.
But his friend, no one, he said there's pretty much one of his friend, and then other than that, no one really said anything to him.
Yeah.
But when you're 24, I mean, going back a few years, 24, you're really fucking stupid and you make some really dumb decisions. I mean,
everyone makes dumb decisions too.
This is on a different level, in my opinion.
I agree.
I would have never done this at 24, regardless, of how old I was.
Right. But, I mean,
whatever.
How much can we really know about Brett? We've only seen these TikToks and this podcast, but he seems like he seems like a nice guy. Like he just genuinely wanted to help her and probably was like, could be kind of fun to try and have a baby.
Do it for the plot.
I had kind of a different perspective on him.
Really?
I don't know how to say this. I don't know if he was trying to because he's, I don't know, he's very he's very attractive, obviously, and he kind of holds himself to this standard, and was he just doing this to I don't know, to get more of him out him there? I don't know. I've always, this entire story just made me, I don't fully trust him, and I don't think he really had the right intentions going into this necessarily. Does that make sense?
That's a fair opinion.
When you say he wanted more of him out there, as in
I'm thinking
his
like
DNA?
Elon. Yeah. I'm thinking like an Elon situation.
I didn't get that vibe at all. But I could see that.
I got the vibe that he just was like,
fuck it.
Yeah.
I think he kind of was like, I'm down to fuck.
But also,
And
like,
I
he's
could be
a
helping
very,
her at the same time.
but he's also like a very attractive person. I don't think he struggles in that apartment.
True.
True.
But maybe he's like, I've never got to try and have a baby and
Right.
just go free ball it with it, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true.
No
So,
condom.
yeah. He wasn't paid anything for this, by the way. He didn't get paid a dime, but to be fair, he explained he wasn't expecting anything in return. He just wanted to help her. So here's a little clip of Brett starting to get into the story here. And like I said, he has like multiple series and stuff. And so we're going to be pulling a little bit of everything as we go along, but take a look. Take a look of him explaining some of this for himself.
So she doesn't want to do IVF, and I'm convenient because we've already slept together once. She says she wants nothing from me, and instead of doing the smart thing and walking away, I said yes, because I was 24 and apparently thought the best use of my time was becoming a discount sperm donor for someone that I wasn't even texting back. I was thinking with the wrong head, obviously. She said, no strings, no drama. I just want a baby. I was like, sounds easy enough, I can do that. I really thought I could just sleep with her and help her get pregnant. Then go back to business as usual. Like, thanks for stopping by. Good luck with the whole parenting thing. Top tier, dumbass behavior. I own that, I know it, but I genuinely believed her when she said it would be simple. No drama and no strings attached. That's not what happened.
No, Bretty boy.
There are always strings attached
There's
when you
always
father a child.
Strings, especially unless you're literally doing
A sperm donor.
donor bank, like going through
Yeah,
the official
right. Mhm.
service.
So on May 7th, 2021, Maria had her birth control implant removed. She had one of the like Implanon or
Yeah,
implant.
Nexplanon.
It used to be Implanon when
Yeah,
I was
then
in
it went to
college.
Nexplanon.
Nexplanon. Okay, so it's the one in your arm. It's like a little grain of rice.
No, they're like a bar. It's like this big, like the size of a toothpick.
Oh, okay.
That goes in.
So Implanon was like a rice. I remember it was small.
No, they're
Really?
No, they've always. The reason they got rid of Implanon was because it was giving like bad side effects, and they changed it to Nexplanon. But it's always been like a
bar.
You're probably thinking of the hormone pellets I used to get injected in my
Maybe.
butt cheek. Those
Yeah.
are like grains of rice.
Okay, maybe.
These things are
I
like
got one
bars.
of those too.
Oh yeah, you'd have right.
Did not like it.
I
Did
hate-
not go back.
I hated the Nexplanon. I did it for
You
like,
did?
2 years.
Oh, you did you?
Hated it. Not for me.
Well, just
Some
like
people
bad
love it.
side effects.
I gained a lot of weight, and I'm pretty sure that's like what really, really like started like my mental health decline. Like I
Oh.
think it triggered something. Like that's when I like my anxiety was just like uncontrollable, and like it all went down.
It's crazy how it affects different people.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
I
I've
was
heard
gonna say
people love it. Like some
Mhm.
people swear by it. It just was not for me.
Someone here in the office has it and loves it.
Yeah.
I watched one being put in and then another one being taken out. And I almost threw up.
How?
Dude,
Where did you watch
when
it?
I was
didn't
working-
realize it was that big.
when I was working in an
Oh my
OBGYN
God.
office,
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, to get it out, they have to make a full cut and like push
they kind of like go like this with it and like
inch it out.
Yeah.
Ew.
It's up on the top, right?
it's usually like right here.
Interesting.
I
Can you
like-
see it?
Yes.
Yes. Anyways, not part of the story, but yeah, she had it, then it was removed.
So about a week later, she was back in town and she spent 2 weekends with Brett, May 14th to the 16th and then May 21st to the 23rd. And according to Brett, they were partying with friends and she stayed at his place both of those times. And Brett says that this is when they tried to conceive. But just to be clear, they were not in a relationship. They were never in a relationship. The casual hookup one time, that's as far as it went. Friendly when they saw each other, whatever. They weren't, anything more than that, and he was just trying to help her get pregnant.
I guess according
out of the kindness
to him.
of his heart. Yeah, and of course, yes, this is all coming.
This is
from
all
him.
coming from him. So she very well could have different sides to the story. But
But she's not posting. She
Yeah.
was, from what I understand, posting at one point, but she's like disappeared now.
Yeah, she's like private now.
Makes sense though when you hear
Yeah.
what the fuck happened.
Yeah.
Here's a clip of him on that podcast, Real Stuff, sharing his part of the story regarding the conceiving portion.
Just to understand the mechanics of this, because any couple that's tried to conceive knows that it's not always one shot. There's sometimes months and months of trying before you actually successfully get pregnant.
I like that
How
wording,
many
one
times
shot.
one shot.
did it take before you were told that it was successful?
2 weekends. So I can account for the day that she told me she got her arm implant out.
That was her birth control implant.
It was, yes. It was in her arm. She had it removed. And, shortly after that, there was 2 weekends in a row that we were together. And then I go out of town for a week for Memorial Day in California and come back. And that's when she tells me she's pregnant. I'm like, sick.
Yeah, it worked. I'm like, sick. My summers are beasts.
During these nights out, Maria repeatedly asked people to take photos of her and Brett and actively post them online. And she is definitely trying to make it seem like they were a couple.
She's sitting on his lap.
I'm sure he was like, okay, sure, I'll take a picture with you, whatever. But then she poses in a certain way,
That
or
should be
she's
your first-
kissing his cheek, and
That should be your first red flag.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, why do you want pictures with me?
and already posting them too.
Mhm.
Like she wants the world to know we're together.
This my man.
It seems like she wanted him from the beginning, and that's just my perspective because I don't know. Of course, I don't know what was going on in her mind, but it seems like she was like, I really liked that one night stand. I really like him. I'd like something more. How can I trap him?
Yeah.
Essentially. So after their 2 weekends together, Brett left for California for a week to celebrate Memorial Day, and when he came back, everything changed. Maria asked Brett to join her for lunch, and let's hear from him about what she said at this lunch.
She invites me to brunch and she tells me she's pregnant, fully knowing that she's not. Then she starts drinking like a lot. We then leave and go to another restaurant and meet up with my friend Dylan, and she also tells him that she's pregnant. Dylan and I think it's weird that she's drinking, but she insists it's okay. Here's the proof that this video is on June 6th.
Let me just pause that for a second. Let's review, okay? She's telling him that she's pregnant, but she's drinking. And he's like,
Sure.
that's fine. Okay.
So he's like, it's not my kid.
yeah, but it is.
But it is.
He thinks it is. All right. How irresponsible.
Like this place, really California.
Hey, you didn't get a lemon yet.
Wrong way.
This video is dumb, but it shows two things. Maria was drinking, and I made it very clear that I was leaving. And that's important because that brunch is the last time I ever saw her until the week before the baby was born.
Okay, so if you're wondering why he's moving to California, just a little side tangent here. He had a friend who joined the military and he was out in California visiting him, and he ended up falling in love with the state. So he decided he wanted to move out there himself. He actually ended up buying an old ambulance, turning it into like an RV situation, and then he moved out there. So
That's cool. I've never heard of someone doing
I
that
hadn't
with an
either.
ambulance.
Yeah, it's cool. But anyway, so at this point, like he said, there was pretty much no more, at least communication person to person at this point.
And it didn't really,
Or, like, in
didn't
person.
need to be, according to Maria.
Exactly.
All I need is a sperm, then you're free to go. I'll never see you again.
Right.
So then we get into part 4, which is titled How I Ended Up at the Birth of a Baby Who I Was Only Supposed to Be a Sperm Donor For. So while he's getting ready to move to California, Maria seemed to be working his way more and more into his life, infiltrating, as you could say. She starts texting his mom. Wild.
Which is fucking crazy.
I know. And how did he even get his... I'm so curious how she got mom's number.
I'm curious about that too.
But she starts trying to be friends with his mom.
Which, why are you doing that?
Weasel your way in?
Because it seems like she had a master plan all along.
Mm-hmm.
So here's a clip of Brett's mom talking about how Maria befriended her and made her feel bad for not having anyone in her life, as in Maria didn't have anyone in her life. She made it seem like, I'm really lonely. I need support. I have no one to support me through this pregnancy. And she essentially wants Brett's mom to be that person.
Hey, Mama.
The night, I guess that we first met, I guess was that night at the half show. One of the first things after we introduced ourselves and sat down, I can remember her saying to me that she hoped that I didn't think that she took advantage of my son. And of course I gave a polite answer to that. She went on to discuss, and she mentioned, how I guess she was impressed with you to be so young and so successful at that age. I can remember her mentioning your house and all your toys.
From that point on, Maria started pulling my mom in deeper. She would ask for baby pictures of me, and she told her mom that baby's gonna look just like me. She made my mom feel important and needed, and when Maria told her that she had no one, my mom felt pressured to come to the birth.
She told me if something ever happens to her, I want you to raise the baby. And I just remember thinking that poor girl has no one.
Can you imagine that?
No.
You have a child.
Dude, no.
They get someone pregnant just to help them. And then they tell you, and if I die, I want you to take care of this baby. I'd be like, what the fuck did I just get into?
That's a mind fuck. that should be, at that moment, he knew he fucked up.
Yeah, I think this is when he started to really figure it out because
yeah,
he started to feel like she was hijacking his life.
Which she kind of was.
Because it wasn't just his mom that she starts getting close with. She starts getting close to his family, all of the family, and his friends. She starts reaching out to his friends, even though she had initially told him that he wouldn't need to be involved with the pregnancy or the baby afterward. And he said that he felt it was strange because Maria had clarified that this is supposed to be a no strings attached situation, and yet she's adding his family and friends on Facebook, trying to make this more, acting like, you know, she and Brett were some sort of couple or family or were going to be a family soon. And she mainly reached out to his mom, but yeah, she connected a little bit with everybody in his life, it seems.
And then she started saying that, like, to Brett's mom, that she doesn't have anyone in her life. She doesn't get along with her family.
Yeah.
She can't rely on anyone.
She's
Pity
alone.
card.
Yep, definitely playing the victim card constantly.
And yeah, that if something were to happen to her, she wanted Brett's mom to take care of the baby. So Maria had thrown 2 baby showers, but hadn't posted a bump photo or announced it on social media until Brett flew out to support her. And she told him that she was scared and wanted him there. And a few hours after Brett booked his flight, Maria posted on Facebook that she was pregnant and used his last name, which is fucking
wild.
Crazy.
It's wild even that she's like gone from all I need is your sperm to I need you at the birth. I have no one.
And I'm assuming it was like, you know, baby, what's his last name? Fairley. Baby Fairley coming.
It's right here.
Oh, yeah, right there. Okay, there we go.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, at this point, she was 8.5 months pregnant. So the baby was coming very quickly. Like, there wasn't a lot of time left.
And honestly, good for him that he was like, okay, I'll support you. I'll be there. And actually booked a flight and went out there to be at the birth. And his whole family came to the birth as well.
So that's when Brett really started to feel the pressure, not directly from Maria, but from his parents, because they were like, yo, you need to be there for the birth and you need to be involved in this baby's life. And at this point, he wasn't even planning to return to his hometown because, again, remember, he went to California.
Mm-hmm.
But as the due date grew closer, his parents kept being like, this little girl is going to grow up without a dad. Like, you need to be involved. And obviously, I think that was starting to, you know, weigh on his heart and his conscience. So he was like, okay, fuck. Like, started to feel really torn of, like, what am I going to do? Even though, I guess, in his defense, it was never supposed to be that way. And he was always told that, you know, you're just a sperm donor. But
and to play devil's advocate, I mean, it wasn't just a sperm donor situation, or you would have gotten some legality,
right?
Some legal
that's honestly
documentation.
true. Why would you not at least like hit up a lawyer and be like, can you write something up at least to try and protect my ass? Yeah,
I don't think he really had any understanding for what this meant, because at the end of the day, you are the dad. So this little girl is going to grow up without a dad, and that I'm glad that sunk into him at that point of like, okay, I've really gotten myself into something and I need to step the fuck up.
Yep.
So as the birth neared, communication between him and Maria started picking up even more. She repeated what she told him from the start, that he would not be financially responsible at all, that he could be involved as he wanted to, basically come and go as he pleased.
Which I also think is really stupid on her part, even if she said that, because why would you
put your child to that?
Yeah, and that's such a vague gray area to be like, come and go as you please. That is so weird because, and what if he's like there for a bit and then he bails for a couple of years and then he comes back for a couple of years? Like, the kid's going to be confused. I just think they're both just so fucking stupid to do it the way they did with zero sort of guidelines set up.
And people be doing this type of stuff.
Yeah. Don't you think that Maria had a pretty clear understanding of what was happening?
Yeah, I think she knew the plan from the start.
Yeah, I think she really was taking advantage that he was a naive little guy. You know what I mean?
I think
little guy. Like, okay, let's not. He wasn't 18. He was 24.
He's a lot younger than her, and there's a big, maturity difference there. And just men in general tend to be more immature. That's just facts.
Well, especially like
women mature faster.
Like his lifestyle too. Like he seems like he went out a lot, and like he was kind of a party boy, and like, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think it's pretty selfish of her to have not really made these clear boundaries from the beginning for the child's sake.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
You know, like now you're going to be like, oh yeah, your dad will pop in and out. Right. Like, what is that going to be like for her?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is like, that's stupid on your part for your own kid's sake.
Mm-hmm.
It's confusing.
And I can't remember, we know the baby's a girl? He just refers to...
It's a girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
He referred, her name's not out there, no pictures of her, which is great. It's just the baby is how he refers to her. But what I did start thinking about is it's kind of sad that one day she probably will see all of this.
Yeah.
And it's all playing out online through this horrible beef over her birth and her life.
Well, after being pressured by his parents, he's like, okay, I'm coming to the birth.
Mm-hmm.
And the birth comes, and he's in the delivery room the entire time. He talked about how, like, he was in the room, but he wasn't necessarily, like...
He wasn't, like, looking down
and being like, you got this, babe. Like, nothing like that.
Yeah.
But he was the first person to hold the baby besides the doctor.
Yeah. And his parents were also there, too.
Mhm.
There's a picture of them just at the hospital waiting, and especially because she has really started manipulating them as well at this point. So, yeah, after baby's born, he's holding the baby, and then he's given the birth certificate. And let's let him explain how that went down.
I think it's so strange that he was the first one to hold the baby.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, that is. Did she tell them to do that?
No, I think he said that he was in the room. He wasn't like behind her or anything.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't. He was there in support of her, but he wasn't there supporting her.
Does he mean the first to hold the baby besides the mom?
No,
Like,
he said,
like,
like,
he said
besides the doctor.
So like they pulled out the baby and then handed the baby.
But who knows?
to him.
Maybe they were, like, working
That's
on
so
her or something.
rare.
Or who knows?
they
But yeah.
always hand the baby to the mom. I mean, in most situations.
Then maybe it was, I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? I guess we don't know the full.
Can you just explain legally what are you doing when you sign that paper? What are you saying? What does it actually say that you are a legal guardian?
So I'm actually on the birth certificate as the father, and there's also another form called Acknowledgement of Paternity. And when they presented that, my name was all over it. You know, it basically states that you have a year within of the birth to get a paternity test. And then after that, you hereby forfeit all your rights. Like you are legally binding forever, can't break this contract, father.
That is really interesting. That's something I didn't quite understand. And, you know, he said that he didn't even remember signing it.
Yeah.
And I don't remember signing a birth certificate either. I just don't have any memory of that. I think there's so much going on.
I wonder, like, how soon after they make you do it.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, like, do they mail you the birth certificate? Like,
We
so you
had
can-
to go to, like, the Social Security office
Yeah.
within, like, 2 weeks of Holly being born for something. It's all such a blur to me now. But I'm sure we signed something at the hospital. I just don't remember it. I was in such a daze.
Yeah.
And that's what it sounded like he was, too. He has no memory of signing it.
Wait, I think you're given time, right? Because people take time to name their kids.
Yeah.
So, like, they're not
Yeah.
going to put a name on the birth certificate and
So
then
maybe
change.
it's case by case. Maybe she already
Yeah.
had the name and she was like, let's have him sign it. Who
Right,
knows?
yeah.
Or maybe she had kind of like planned everything out to have all the documents ready for him to sign because it was her way of like swindling him even further. You know what I mean?
Good point. Could be.
So, just as a reminder, there was absolutely no plan to co-parent, okay? Maria told him that she was fine if he moved to California and came out when he wanted, which, again, I think is really weird, but whatever. And Brett assumed that just by signing the form that it wouldn't really change that. But then he signed an acknowledgement of paternity form, and the document stated that he, like he mentioned, he had 1 year to get a paternity test, and then after that, he would forfeit all of his rights.
That's
And-
something that I did not know existed. I thought if you were like found out later that, you know, if like let's say it's a situation where your partner has cheated on you and you
Mhm.
think that you're the father and
Mhm.
then, you know, you do a paternity test years later, like really you've already forfeited all your rights.
Maybe it depends on the state.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, because they're in she had the baby in Mississippi, I believe.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was legally binding, and the only way out was to prove fraud, which Brett said is very, very difficult to do, which I can imagine so.
And that's if he wasn't able to prove paternity within the
Right.
first year.
Right. So after the baby is born, Maria continued posting photos online of her, Brett, and the baby, insinuating that they were this happy little family. And Brett was still planning on moving to California. But meanwhile, yeah, she's posting photos like this one says, second birthday party with our family and best friends. Thank you to everyone who showed up for our sweet girl.
And what's interesting too, and I might be remembering this wrong, but didn't she have him blocked during all of this so he wasn't able to even see that she was posting these pictures
I
of
think
him?
he said something that she would block him and unblock him so she can talk to him,
Yeah.
but only on her conditions of talking to him.
So a lot of these pictures, he didn't realize that she was putting
Which
out
is
this whole facade of them
fucking crazy.
together. Okay, so getting into part 5, he's titled this, The Abuse Begins. So Brett had gone back to California, but he wanted to get together with his family back home for Easter. So he blocked 2 days off at his Airbnb so everyone could stay there. He owns an Airbnb, I don't know if we mentioned that. But he invited Maria and the baby to join. So being very kind.
Which I'm kind of a stupid ass move.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
This is what I mean, bro. Why are you involving yourself more
It's
than
kind
you
of
have
a
to?
stupid ass move because you're giving false signals like, oh,
Yes.
I want to be involved.
Well, I think
So-
at some point he started wanting to be involved because he felt guilty that this is his child. And he talks a lot in that podcast about the first moment that he held his
he's like,
his
that
daughter
changed
and he
everything.
have this connection. And I don't know if you can really understand unless you've held your kin for the first time, but it's this immediate connection where I think he didn't want to he didn't want her to grow up without a dad. I just think he showed a lot of good character. It was just dumb, but he was trying to help someone. And then once he realized what a dumb situation he's gotten himself into and that there's a baby involved now, he seemed to step up in a lot of ways more than most men would do, I think, in this situation. Maybe I'm just a fool, but I don't know. I think for him to offer her to be part of it and to bring the baby.
But why are you doing that? Because you're sending false signals that you guys are like a family unit.
No, I think he's just sending the message that he would like to remain in the baby's life.
I don't know why. I just have a weird vibe with him.
I'm sure some people will agree with you.
I just think it's very mighty me. It was agreed upon that they weren't going to have these strings attached. And then, he's involving himself even more.
And I think he is just genuinely feels like this is his daughter and he's picturing her growing up without a dad and feels guilty about that. And he is just genuinely feels like this is his daughter and he's picturing her growing up without a dad and feels guilty about that. He genuinely wants to be part of her life in some capacity, and that his original thoughts of no strings attached, no involvement, as they set it up, changed, and that she also changed things because she started saying things to him you can be in the baby's life as much as you want.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he decided he wanted more of that, and he probably saw how his parents were reacting, how excited they were about having a grandchild, and I think it came from a good place. But
I don't know. I kind of go back and forth.
I'm always a fool, so
You see the best.
I like to see the best in
yeah.
people. Yeah.
Which is,
Which is
that's
a good
not a
thing.
flaw. Yeah.
Yeah. He ends up getting the Airbnb, which he already, he was it? Yeah, it was his Airbnb. Yeah, so he owns
just
it.
blocked off some days.
Right. And invites him there. So let's go ahead and watch a clip of that.
The control started small, a comment here, a demand there, but it escalated fast. It was Easter 2022, and I flew home to see the baby. I spent nearly $900 on flights. My whole family was at the house. My parents, nieces, uncles, aunts, cousins. I blocked off my Airbnb, and I hosted everyone, including Maria and the baby. At first, things seemed normal. She was upstairs drinking, talking with my mom, being friendly. I was downstairs with my cousin, just hanging out. The more she drank, the more her attitude started to shift. Then, out of nowhere, she leans over the upstairs balcony, clearly drunk, and screams down at me in front of everyone, "Get your ass up here and take care of your child." My mom says this is the first time that she saw it. That Maria expected something from me way beyond what we agreed to. For me, it was the first sign that if I didn't do what she wanted, she would humiliate me in front of everyone.
So then he posts a screenshot, and this is on May 16th, and Maria's asking if her and the baby can stay actually at his Airbnb for the next 2 months. It says, "The baby and I need to stay in your house for 2 months until I can get our own place and so that I can save a little more. I am taking a position remote, which comes with a huge pay cut, but I won't have to put our daughter in daycare and I can be home with her. Looks like we're closing this property on June 9th in Materi. So I'm hoping to be packed up and out of this apartment the weekend prior to the 9th. I'll put all of my stuff in storage except for our clothes. Can we stay there?" And this was at 5:12 p.m. And then at 6:27 p.m., so just a little bit over an hour later, she goes, kind of important for you to respond, ? And then about another hour and some change later at 7:45, she says, "You're deliberately ignoring me and it's extremely frustrating considering I'm asking you to put a roof over your daughter's head. If you don't want to help us, then let's see a lawyer and sign your rights over. Let me legally remove you from her life. Otherwise, I can make you pay child support. Whatever you want to do, Brett, but I'm asking you something that concerns your daughter, and I'd appreciate a response."
Girl, it's been 2 hours.
Yeah, I know. That was so dramatic.
What is going on? What if he is sleeping or
Right.
some like
Working,
yeah.
doing literally anything.
I'd understand these messages maybe over a few days, but even then, to start being like, your daughter.
Well, she changes the language.
Dude, it's
Yeah.
dead ass been less than 3 hours, okay?
And this is very different from what you had originally laid out in the plan.
And she ends it with, also, I don't ask you for money ever. It's the least you could do. So she's getting a little fasty, a little demanding.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's interesting that she like changes the language to manipulate his like
Yeah,
psyche,
your
though.
daughter.
Your daughter.
Yeah, when it was
yeah.
our daughter a second ago in the
Mhm.
first message.
In one of his clips, he mentions how Maria was living at his Airbnb because he agreed to do it and to let her stay there. And he did mention how, this renting out his Airbnb is how he makes a lot of his income. And so obviously by letting her stay there, he wasn't able to rent it out. So he lost out on some money and it ended up costing him around $30,000, according to him. Mm-hmm.
Nice Airbnb, apparently.
And he's making the argument like, look, I didn't have to do this. There was no court order to do this, no legal agreement to have to do this, nothing official. I was doing this trying to just be nice, trying to help her and the baby, and just make sure that, the baby had somewhere nice to stay. Go ahead and watch.
August 2022, I come back again. So I have to drive an hour each day just to see the baby, and then an hour back just to sleep with my parents. I keep showing up. I keep complying because by now it's clear. I push back. I lose access. After she moved out of the Airbnb, the control didn't stop. She texted me, "This is what I want from you." She wanted me to start paying the full daycare amount, even though there was no court order in place. And in exchange, she said that I could have the baby every other weekend if I stay at my parents' house. Never been arrested. I didn't use drugs. I've never been violent, abusive, or even raised my voice around her. There was no court ruling, no concern from a judge, nothing. It wasn't co-parenting. It was control. My access to the baby came with conditions that she made up as she went.
Which is a really fucked up thing that people do in general, holding the child against the other person to get what you want.
Classic story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know so many people who've done that.
Yep. Really
Fucking
fucked up.
Wild. But yeah, so things really start to shift at this point, and Maria starts to take things to a whole new level. And according to Brett, it wasn't just the emotional manipulation, which we've already, kind of seen here. It got into a lot of legal issues and lawyers were started to be brought into the picture. And that's when everything started to change, which, had started as a personal understanding of like, okay, you give me the sperm.
Yep.
I have the
You
baby.
can be the sperm.
I have the baby, whatever, you can come if you want, you come and go as you please type of thing. And then it went from having zero legalities to all of a sudden now bringing in a lawyer and having that expectation, which in my opinion, you should have done way, way long ago. But
of course. And he knows
whatever.
that now.
Right.
And it's also interesting that she was so like pushing for him to be at the birth because she probably knew that he'd have to sign the birth certificate.
Yeah.
And or would be like told to and may not even remember, and that would create this other bond.
Could be, yeah.
I feel like it's all been very calculated and manipulative in my opinion from day one.
I agree.
So here's a clip of Brett explaining what she did next.
By summer of 2023, things took another turn. Now it wasn't just emotional pressure, it was legal. I was overwhelmed and hiring an attorney felt too expensive. Plus, I had no reason to question paternity. Maria told me if I didn't just sign what her lawyer sent, she would take me to court and get $1,400 a month in child support and $16,000 in back pay. I felt trapped. In those same messages, she said that she didn't want to go in front of a judge. I agreed to pay $750 a month and $10,000 in back child support just to avoid a legal battle. I didn't think I could win, so on August 21st, I wired her $10,000. You think that once the court order was in place, things would settle down, but they didn't. If anything, the control got worse.
One thing that we didn't mention earlier that I thought was really interesting when I was looking into this is after the baby was born, she scheduled like a newborn shoot for them to be in. And he was like, okay, I guess that's fine. But she even ordered like a bandana for his dog that said like Big Brother.
Yeah,
and put that,
you don't bring the fucking dogs into this.
And it's like he can't even see that a lot of this is being posted to Facebook because she's got him blocked. But she is, posting this and making it look like we are a family. The dog has a new sister.
Dude, that's so whack.
It is so insane.
So whack.
It's like she was really trying to turn all of his friends and family against him too, because I'm sure she figured eventually this is going to go south, or maybe she wanted it to be as the plan all along.
At this point, Maria actually is really starting to get pushy, and according to Brett, She was telling him how she wanted them to be together, as in like an actual couple.
Which I think that's really what she wanted from the jump, dude.
I'm like, dude, this is the way you think you're gonna get that?
This is what some people do. It's crazy.
It's so wild.
Makes sense, you know? Just kidding. It doesn't.
But it makes sense why she did it, right?
Yeah. So he lets her down gently, telling her, look, this isn't what I want, which I'm like, okay, then stop showing up to things and get a lawyer. This is where I'm like, dude, you're kind of stupid, but whatever.
It's under $10,000.
Yeah. So then Valentine's Day rolls around. Okay, Valentine's Day 2024. And Brett is actually on a date with someone else. And he posts a picture of himself enjoying his meal with someone in the background.
Well, we actually don't know if it was a date because he just said he's like, it was just a friend. But
I mean,
it was a Valentine's
either way.
Day.
Yeah,
Right.
Meal with
It
someone.
sounded like, the way he described it made it sound like a date.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter what it was because Maria took it as a date.
As a date and fucking lost her shit. And despite everything, you know, Brett continued sending Maria money, more than the court order required. And during this time, like we said, he had, well, actually, no, this is probably somewhat different. But regardless, at this time, he meets someone. And it wasn't just a, you know, random one-night stand or a casual fling. It was someone that he's really started to have feelings for. Enter in the woman named Hadley, okay? And like I had mentioned before, Hadley is known as Nurse Hadley on TikTok, and she has a decent following, so some of you might be familiar with her. But Maria was not fucking having this, okay?
She's like, who is this new woman?
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm going to start destroying her life, too.
Mm-hmm. And Brett and Hadley wanted to keep the relationship private, obviously for probably good reason, but Maria was not having any of this. So moving on to part 6, which is titled, I'll Be Waiting for Apologies. So in this part, he explains how his relationship with Hadley started and Maria's intense reaction to learning that Brett was in a relationship. And Brett shares that Maria and her cousin went full keyboard warrior on their asses, okay? And they started spreading like a ton of lies online, trying to paint him or Hadley as a horrible person, which is sad that they're like dragging her into this when really she has nothing to do with the situation at all. And claiming that she had done awful things and, you know, just making up total lies about her. And many of these rumors were picked up by different tea spillers and made it seem that Hadley was truly an awful person. Luckily, Brett had the receipts, proof, timeline, screenshots, fucking everything in order to defend Hadley and you know, defend her character.
Because this seems like this was the point where he was really like, fuck this, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, he specifically talks about there was a moment where seeing, I think we get into it more later, but seeing the pain that now Hadley's experiencing and who he truly loves, where he's like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I cannot continue to let this woman do this shit to us. It's insane.
Mm-hmm.
And he really loves Hadley, you know? How is he going to make this relationship work when Maria is out to destroy their relationship and destroy her reputation and his?
Yep. Maria's cousin gets involved. She starts posting on social media. At one point, she says that it would be on site if she ran into Hadley.
For what?
Yeah, I don't know. It's wild. She starts posting things like, clout is a hell of a drug. And this is directed to Brett. Trying to go viral for a quick come up, you're pathetic. Instead of trying to make my cousin look bad on social media, you could have shown her and the baby some respect and handled things in private. You're playing the victim when frankly you're a sugar baby. Why not share the truth that your girlfriend lost custody of her kids because Hadley actually has kids from a previous relationship. And then she goes on to say, that's exactly why my cousin didn't want my niece around such a toxic environment. You know, you've chosen random 304s over your child, and you've been nothing but a headache for my cousin. So a month after Brett and Hadley started dating, they went to lunch with his mom, and she told him that Maria had been texting her some pretty unhinged things, saying that he was a super selfish person, that she wanted nothing to do with him and didn't want him to be in the baby's life at all going forward. She was saying things like, Brett is awful, he really is, he's such a selfish person. And then it says, redacted, will not be coming back over there. He can take me back to court. I don't care. I don't want Redacted to grow up like him. And then, yeah, the mom's like, Maria, this is between y'all. I hope she comes back over here. We love her, obviously. So I think, dude, if I were Brett's mom, I would be feeling so fucking awkward.
Oh, yeah.
So.
And just sad and disappointed.
Mm-hmm. So it really seems like Maria was obviously extremely sour about Brett getting into this new relationship.
Mhm.
And then once she found out Brett and the baby were hanging out with Hadley, she completely lost it. And even after Brett's mom told her she wanted no involvement, Maria texted her once again, threatening to take custody away from him. And she says that Brett doesn't get to play house with Hadley and then threatens to call the police on him. Because at this point, she believes that he's like kind of using the baby as like a prop almost for Hadley. And
Mhm.
yeah, it's messy. So then fast forward to Father's Day, Maria goes on Facebook and bashes Brett for being an absent father, even though he was on a trip that was planned out months ago and would be back on Father's Day. And remember, like I've been saying a million times, the whole original plan here was that he wasn't going to be fathering this baby anyways.
Yeah, the original plan has gone completely out the window. at this point.
Correct. Yeah. She's like, I wish I had the choice to remove someone from her life so she doesn't have to experience the immense amount of pain she'll feel one day when she realizes someone who is supposed to be so important in her life is absent most of the time. One thing she'll never have to worry about is that I'll always show up for her and I'll never make her feel half loved.
This is such emotional torture
Yeah.
for everyone
Yeah.
involved on Maria's part, especially your own child, who you have gotten into this situation from the beginning to be set up to be growing up without a father because you asked someone to just be a sperm donor with no strings attached.
Yep.
But then he goes and he does kind of, things obviously change. He mentions that he's like, he was there at the birth and then he wants to be more involved. So it's like she's like saying he's not in her life, but he's actually trying to be in her life.
Yeah,
and
helping them out with the Airbnb, helping
Right.
them out financially.
Yep.
So he's doing much more than what was agreed upon originally, but to
Yeah.
her it's never enough. And she's like using the baby as emotional blackmail, really,
Mm-hmm.
and how you are going to be responsible for the pain that this child is going to deal with for the rest of her life.
Yep. And Father's Day comes and he's actually trying to text her like, hey, I'm in town. Can I come and get said baby? And she basically just ghosts him and, doesn't respond. And
So you're part of the problem as well, Maria.
Yeah.
I mean, you are the entire problem, obviously. But from what you're trying to display publicly is that, he doesn't even want to be here. And then he's asking to come and she's like, no, fuck you. Or she's not even responding.
no, she doesn't respond. So fast forward a few more days, Brett and Hadley are out of town for a wedding and his parents were supposed to babysit for the weekend. And Maria asked if she could keep the baby for the weekend instead. But when she finds out that Brett's traveling with Hadley, she texts Brett's mom saying that he chose his girlfriend over his daughter and will be taking him to court for full custody. So Brett's mom calls her out and then once again reiterates that she doesn't want to be involved in their problems, which again would be so fucking awkward. She calls Maria a hypocrite because she only wants to communicate when it's convenient for her. And she says that her family has bent over backwards for Maria and has been as supportive as they possibly could be throughout this entire situation.
So according to the court order, he was supposed to have custody all of June. There's literally a screenshot of the court order and everything. And Brett says that, per usual, Maria made her own rules when it came to custody. And then on June 25th, the infamous Lowe's incident happens. And this is absolutely wild. I think it's best you just hear it from Brett.
Yes.
What actually happened? The night before on the phone, Maria told me that I could pick the baby up from school in the morning. So I did. We ran some errands, grabbed lunch, and then we went to Lowe's. While I'm there, I text her and ask if I could keep the baby overnight. She calls me immediately. Her response, not thanks, not sure. It's, is Hadley with you? I said yes, and instantly she flips. She says that she's coming to Lowe's right now. I was like, no, you're not going to make a scene in Lowe's. I'll just drop Hadley off and then I'll bring her back to your house like we planned. I hang up and then I reiterate what I said on the phone through text. I put away my phone while I'm driving. I check my phone when I park at Hadley's house. Apparently, Maria's at Lowe's now. I had multiple missed calls from my dad. I call him back and he tells me that Maria has called him. And apparently, she was running up and down the aisles at Lowe's screaming that her daughter had been kidnapped. Oddly enough, her family doesn't deny this part. They just said that I didn't answer the phone for hours. The drive from Lowe's to Hadley's house is 17 minutes. I called Maria back and she starts making threats. Hadley tells me to hang up and text her because I need this in writing. That enrages Maria, but we'll get back to that soon. Regardless, I brought her back with no issue.
So while she's at the
Wild.
Lowe's, she is running, screaming down the aisles saying, my daughter has been kidnapped.
Which is fucking wild to do.
Just what the fuck is happening? And then she's telling everyone that he's not answering for hours and everyone else is pushing that narrative. 17 minutes, he's being responsible while driving with a baby in the car.
Yep. So then fast forward to August 5th, Maria visited Hadley's house and played with her children. So let's watch that clip.
On August 5th, Maria lets me see the baby again. A few days later, she comes inside Hadley's house. She meets Hadley's kids. She goes into their bedroom. She even played dolls with one of her daughters for a minute. Then when she comes back to pick the baby up, all 3 of Hadley's kids are there, standing at the door, waving by. And this is the same woman that went online and told people that Hadley lost custody of all of her kids. She knew that was a lie. She met the kids and stood in their home. That wasn't confusion. That was strategy. Maria knew that if she could convince people that Hadley was a terrible person, the attention would shift off of her, and the truth wouldn't matter anymore. She wasn't trying to defend herself. She was just trying to take Hadley down because she was helping me.
So then Hadley's getting a lot of hate from people that are believing what Maria is putting out there. And so she posted her side of the story on October 31st, 2024. And let's see what she had to say. But before we get into that, we need to drop a bomb here and let you all know that it turns out the baby is not Brett's. It was never Brett's. She knew the entire time it wasn't Brett. We will explain. But they took a paternity test, and that's how they figured it out. So let's hear Hadley explaining how this went down.
We have been successfully keeping our relationship private for 6 months, and he did not mention me in his video at all. And then once he posted it, Maria's family did come on TikTok and out our relationship. I felt like if y'all were going to hear that I was in a relationship, it should come from me and not someone else. So I announced our relationship before I was ready to. And then from there, it kind of took on a life of its own as him and I stopped posting and people just started making up a lot of conspiracy theories and spreading a lot of lies. So I would like to clear up 5 that I saw most frequently. First one, I did not lose custody of any of my kids and none of them have a disability. I have my kids with me more often than not. I just don't post them on social media. 2, I did not tamper with any DNA tests or even touch them at all. That's a very serious thing to accuse a nurse of. 3, I did not move my boyfriend into my home 1 week after meeting him. Here are some of our very cringy first texts. Our first date was on March 20th. Our third date was 11 days later, and we had not even kissed yet. 4, Maria and I are not the same age, but even if we were, the context is what matters here. Brett and I were 27 and 31 whenever we met and started dating. Maria was in her 30s when she asked a 23-year-old she was not dating to get her pregnant, and I feel like that's a big difference. And the last one is a conspiracy theory that I'm the mastermind behind this whole thing because I have a large platform and his video went viral. It is true that I was the one to figure out that Maria was lying. And as a nurse, I was always suspicious whenever he told me that she got pregnant immediately. But a few months into our relationship, we were sitting down with some friends who had just had a baby and the baby had come early. And Brett said offhandedly, "Oh, my daughter was born on her due date." I resisted the urge for a few days, but curiosity did get the best of me. And I did put that due date into a online calculator to figure out the conception dates. The calculator gave me a window of when the baby could possibly be conceived, and I took those dates to him and asked him what he was doing during those dates. And he was on a almost 2-week dice trip during that time. So he ordered DNA tests from 2 separate companies that used 2 different labs, and they both came back with the exact same result, a 0% chance that he was the father. I had no way of knowing that this would be the outcome whenever we first started dating. And to be honest, it's caused a really big strain on our relationship. I had a few non-negotiables when I first started dating. And one of them is that I would only date other single parents because I don't want any more kids. And I don't want to date someone who doesn't understand the challenges of parenthood. We entered into a relationship as 2 single parents and had an idea of what life would look like as a blended family if we ever got to that point. On top of the stress that comes with something as serious as this, our relationship dynamic has changed a lot as well because now only one of us is a single parent. We have both questioned at times last few months if we should still be in a relationship. And I hate to admit that everyone wants the relationship to be perfect. But the truth is that it's been hard and we're still figuring it out. And that's why I was not ready to announce this publicly yet. But it is what it is.
Pretty fucking insane. So she knew all along.
Yep. Couldn't have been possible.
And so she was willing to do all of this guilt tripping and put everyone through this shit. Meanwhile, she knows that he was never the father and that he was in the room when she gave birth, was handed a baby that wasn't even his.
Signed a fucking birth certificate.
Yep. And because it's already been a year at this point, he can't even do anything about it. So then he talks about in his part 7 how he breaks this news to his mom and dad, who are devastated, thinking that they have a grandchild. And Brett's also very upset. I mean, he has spent a lot of time with this little girl who I believe is at around 2.5 at this point.
When I think she just turned 3.
Well, now.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yes.
But like when he found this out.
Right, yeah.
So let's hear it from him.
Hadley brought up DNA tests, and me thinking court was imminent, I thought it was a good idea to go ahead and order it. So that weekend when I had the baby, I decided to do it.
So me and Hadley are just laying on the couch, laughing about something, and that's when I get a notification. It's an email from Paternity Lab. After I open this email, I read it, and I think I'm reading it wrong, but I scan it 3 times, and I see 0%. I look at Hadley, and I say, I'm not the dad. And I just drop my phone. And she picks it up, and she says, you're reading it wrong. She starts scanning it, and zooming in, and I'm over here just with my hand over my head. She looked at me, and she said, you're not the dad. And it felt unreal. I felt shock. And that's when I immediately called my mom. Whenever she answered, I just said, I'm not the dad. She didn't know I was taking the test. It was a complete shock to her. She yelled at me. She said that's not real. There's no way. At one point, she was like, there's no way. Y'all have the same eyelashes. Y'all have the same toes. And
but that's like,
Mama, everybody has eyelashes. I just looked at everything.
Exactly.
That's not my kid. So after a week, there's this incredibly weird silence. I feel this pressure on me to make a decision, and I'm trying to tell everybody what else to do, and I don't even know what to do myself. And one night, Hadley comes up to me and she says that, hey babe, we can just pretend none of this happened. Whatever you want to do, I support you 100%. And after thinking on that, it was definitely an option. No one else knows. We could just go on, continue with a regular life. I wasn't thinking about Maria and how she treated me at this point. It was just me thinking about my relationship with my daughter. I think 2 days went by, and all I could think about during those 2 days was how unfair it was that the real dad had been robbed of all this time with her, all those special moments that I spent with her.
Another victim here.
That is something that he never got to have. I felt like I was taking that if I was to not tell the truth. So at this point, I still haven't made a decision. My parents still don't believe it at all. I decided to do another DNA test, and I wanted to see the baby and see how I still felt whenever I held her. So everything was fine at first. She was calling me Dada, and every time she would call me Dada, it just started to eat at me. At one point, I started uncontrollably crying, and I had to call my mom to come get her. I couldn't do the test that day. So my mom comes and picks her up, and Hadley being Hadley, she calms me down. And the next morning, I know that I still need to do the test. My mom brings the baby back down, and that's when we did the second test. I knew exactly how the results would be, and I knew this would be the last time I see her. And that was the single most worst day of my life. And as I'm trying to grieve this, I still have to keep quiet. I'm trying to talk to attorneys. I'm trying to keep my cool. And I still have Maria harassing me and abusing me through messages when I know at this point that it's not my kid.
God, that is so
That's
fucked
such a
on so many
mental
different
mind fuck, dude.
the layers here. How many
it's
people
crazy.
are hurt? Yeah. When he brought up the dad that missed out on everything.
Yeah.
That didn't even occur to me until he brought that up. That's
Mhm.
horrible.
Yep. Yeah, someone else is now like, holy fuck, maybe that's me.
There's so many victims here of Maria.
That's
I mean,
wild.
Brett, obviously, his parents, his
The
family,
kid.
her
to
daughter.
some- yeah.
Yep.
Mhm. Hadley. Yeah, it's fucking
The real
wild.
father. It's so sad. It really is.
Yep. So Maria posted on Snapchat her response to finding out that he was getting a paternity test.
This is what we get to see from Maria, which she hasn't posted much online or has deleted a lot. So we don't have a lot to work with as far as her side of things coming from her mouth. But here it is. And this is something that Brett posted, by the way.
Before you guys all start believing his shit, some company with her DNA, that could have been anyone's DNA.
My God, dude. Give it up. The jig is over.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing?
Yeah, he was talking about how, obviously, and you heard it from him, the first couple of weeks were absolutely devastating. But then there was this moment where I think he kind of had an epiphany. He was sitting on the couch with Hadley, and under her breath, she said, I can't believe she called me a whore. Which,
Yeah.
I would be so fucking pissed if I were her, because I'd be like, I have nothing to do with any of this.
And but even worse than that, in my opinion, is accusing her of losing custody of her children.
Yeah, totally.
What the fuck?
Yeah. And then he said, in that moment, something clicked, and he was like, what the fuck did this person do to me? And he said he started getting messages saying the entire community of Ocean Springs knew, which is fucking wild. And saying, and knows who the father of Maria's child was from the get-go. So...
And do they know at this
God.
point? I don't know if I heard that.
I never heard a name.
I don't know. I think he said he's still going to be revealing more to the story and stuff.
Yeah,
So
he said he's
more's
posting
coming
more.
out.
Mhm.
So maybe we'll understand that part more.
Yeah.
In that podcast, he said he's only halfway through.
Yeah.
Yeah, this probably gets a lot worse.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, as you heard, Hadley had brought up how she would only date other single parents. So now this is this huge issue between them, and she's contemplated breaking up with him because she doesn't want to have any more children.
But
and maybe he wants to have children because he has no children, and I don't know.
he talked about on the podcast, though, there was a moment where they had to make that decision, and he made it sound like they agreed that they were gonna continue dating.
Yeah, it
But
seems that way.
That's still wild.
Yeah, I hope it works out.
I would be so mentally confused if I were him, dude.
Yeah, this is so evil.
Mm-hmm.
They posted, or I think Hadley posted on Instagram like she basically did it as like an intermission to these video part series of her and him, and they look happy as can be. They like, bought a house.
Okay.
And stuff.
Okay. So good. They probably just gotten past that then.
Yeah.
Beautiful house.
This is the last part that he's posted since we're recording this. It's part 9. And he talks about some other like random lies that Michelle had put out there.
So as we mentioned, Michelle is Maria's cousin, and she got involved in a lot of the online spreading of hatred and lies and everything.
Which there's like a fuck ton of screenshots.
Yeah.
We're not going to read them all, but...
No, but... And there's copyrighted music in the background of this video with the screenshots in it, so we can't even play it. But here's like the overall kind of web of lies that they debunked. One, Michelle, the cousin, claimed to be Miss Vietnam in 2014, which was a complete lie. It turns out that Michelle was in like a charity pageant that was hosted by Joyce Gerard from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And I guess in this pageant, you could pick a country that you wanted to represent. Brett also recently appeared on that Real Stuff podcast. The first episode was on April 10th, 2025, so really recently, and he reviews everything that he posted online so far. So definitely check it out if you want to hear the entire story from his mouth. But yeah, he said there's still a lot they haven't shared yet. There's more layers coming, more receipts, more truth, and he's planning to release even more parts, you guys.
I'm so curious what else he has in there.
I know.
So I'm like,
too.
how could this get any more fucking wild, dude?
It's just so evil. It really is. And it's like, I've heard stories like this in the past, you know, different but similar situations, and people trapping others with babies and then holding them hostage essentially to emotionally manipulate multiple people, the entire family. And it's just crazy how this whole thing evolved. Obviously, moral of the story is never offer to be a sperm donor for a random person that you barely know, or just don't do it, period, unless it's, you know, through a real legal process and you are protected legally.
Yeah, no shit.
Where the boundaries aren't just said over text or in person or whatever, that they are written down and, you know, signed off on.
Although I am curious, like, the full story, because obviously we're just hearing one side of things.
Right.
And I would not be surprised if there were things that he is intentionally leaving out to make himself look better.
That's
you know?
a good point. There's always two sides to every story.
So I'm not over here like, oh my God, Team Brett. Like,
I'm not either, to be clear. I do feel like he stepped up in a lot of ways that I wouldn't expect.
Sure.
And
I can see that. Yeah.
I feel like he's handled it fairly maturely for being in this situation and like wanted the best for this little girl. Yeah. And that, I don't know, but maybe more people just see him as a big fucking idiot.
What did
you call him, Karelly?
Earlier?
Yeah.
Oh, little man or little guy?
Maybe something like that, yeah.
Sussy baka.
Yeah. You think he's the sussy baka? I think we can all agree Marie is the sussy baka. Is he also in sussy baka territory?
Karelly's not thrilled with him, which is fine.
Yeah,
That's fine.
I mean, we don't have the whole story. I mean, I do believe that Maria's obviously the one in the wrong here. No matter what you slice it, Maria's the one that fucked up. You know, like it's.
I think she really wanted to be with him.
I think so too, and I think that she took advantage of him, and I think that he was an easy person to take advantage of.
Yeah,
because I don't want to victim blame either, and I don't want to come off like that either.
Yeah, no,
but
I know what you mean.
I mean, he had the resources. He seems to have a lot of money. Like, he should have been more proactive about this whole situation.
Yeah,
and sure, now he knows whatever. But there were so many red flags along the way. Her drinking when she was pregnant,
of
course,
like so wild.
And again, because it was his sperm, right? Like, maybe he should have spoken up and been like, "Hey," like, been more of like a, you know, voice of reason for her, being like, "Hey, you shouldn't drink while you're pregnant. Like, drinking while you're pregnant is bad." Like, I don't want to say he encouraged it by any means, but like,
yeah, I see what you mean.
It just was. I just don't. I believe him for the most part, but I think that there is a lot he's leaving out. Because like if you go through and like pause his videos and read through like all the messages, there's a lot of shit missing.
Yeah.
So I don't want to, you know, fully say like, you know, like he's completely like in the right. Like,
no, and I'm not saying that either.
I just think that,
yeah,
I don't know. There are things about him that just kind of, I don't know, like trigger my fight or flight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel what you're saying. I do think even being young, even 24, I think
You're still
everyone fucking knows
You went to sex ed, didn't you?
Well, yeah, that part. But I mean, the drinking while pregnant thing. You can't even just be like, oh, well, she was having a couple drinks and we were like, she was fine with it. So we were fine with it. Like, it's your baby that's in there. And like, everyone knows. Doesn't everyone know at least by 24 that you don't drink alcohol while you're pregnant? Isn't that just common knowledge?
I don't know. I would think so.
I mean, I was going to say at that time when she was drinking, he quote unquote didn't want to be involved, right? But I do think it's wrong because then all of a sudden, you know, when he meets the baby, then he wants to be involved. So I feel like there's a lot of back and forth and that we didn't see maybe her, like when he decided to be involved, what she felt or how she, you know what I mean? Like maybe she was like, okay, let's do this. Because he did say like, I want to be a part of this, blah, blah, blah.
And again, it
so maybe she caught feelings and then wants to continue to be.
I think she caught feelings even before any of this. I think this was the plan all along.
And then got really pissed when she found out he had a girlfriend.
I think like, I mean, he's obviously already owned. We don't need to drill him for how dumb he is for making this decision in the beginning. Like, he fucking knows that was the dumbest thing he could have. He said it like was the biggest mistake of his life. It ruined his life.
That's sad for the daughter, though.
I think it's terrible for the daughter. But I think what's even more surprising and what loses points for Brett with me, it's hard because he gained some points during the pregnancy and after and birth and everything, but he also lost some by not, in that 9-month time, not doing any research into his rights and if he should sign a, you know.
Yeah.
And like, did it never occur to him that maybe since this is such a flighty situation, shouldn't I make sure I'm the father? Mm-hmm. What does paternity testing look like? How long do I have to do that? Should I sign this birth certificate? Because he wouldn't have had to sign it. It's not like he was forced. Right. So he didn't do any due diligence leading up to it. And I also think his parents, even though you're a full functioning adult and it's your responsibility, but if I was a mom of a 24-year-old who already gotten himself into a situation like this, I would start doing some research on like, how can we protect you in any way possible going forward?
Especially because they seemed so involved in his life.
Right. And just to be like, oh, let's all go to the birth and stuff. How about let's all do a Google search
It's
together?
not a kumbaya moment. Like, this isn't a kumbaya moment.
And I feel like the parents kind of tried to like force that onto the situation.
They totally did. They were like, totally were the ones who were like, no, you need to be there.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff. So,
yeah.
That's
so there's
point.
like, there's a little bit of blame on everyone. Obviously, majority falls on Maria and a lot of these people. Everyone else really is the victim for the most part. I think there was a lot of mistakes along the way. I'm sure they have all learned some valuable lessons here. I hope so.
But I'm so curious to see what other parts come out.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what will happen.
If there's like a lot that comes out, maybe we'll do a follow-up next week or something.
I'm so glad the daughter's name has been able to remain private and there's no photos of her and she hasn't been dragged online at least. But I do really worry about how this could affect her one day when she gets older, hearing about how you were conceived and the fighting that was going on, the manipulation and guessing, I don't know.
And they're from a really small town. Yeah. So that's how like word gets around fast.
Exactly. Everyone knows everyone there.
Breaking news!
All right, people, we are back with an update. It is Wednesday, April 16th, the day that this is going live. So we are popping in here to give you a quick update on what's going on because part 10 has come out. And there was actually some things in part 9 that we didn't have time to throw into the episode because it dropped like right before we recorded. But they were interesting things that I wanted to go over. So that starts out with Michelle, who we talked about last week, what day is it?
On Monday.
On Monday. So just a couple of minutes ago for you guys, we talked about how, you know, she said that she was Miss Vietnam. That was a lie. It was actually a charity pageant that she was in. She got 5th place and she could pick any country. Michelle claims that she is big time stuff, you guys. She claims that she is a model for BMG models. Have you ever heard of BMG?
Nope.
I have not either. What's their deal? They're just a modeling agency?
Yeah, I think they're based out of Chicago.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. So she's a model, but is she? She also told Hadley that she was PR trained. Very serious. So Brett pretended to be a journalist and get to the truth. Let's take a look.
Laying in bed at night, being like, okay, look up this person, go look up that person. Like, we went down the rabbit hole.
Don't fuck with cats in this conversation because we go down a rabbit hole.
At this point, we couldn't stop.
What else does she lie about? I pretend to be a journalist. Michelle claims that she's a model with BMG. So it's called the LA office.
Okay, so they have an office in LA.
Yeah. Hey, I was calling to see if Michelle View was available for a photo shoot.
Do you mind kind of emailing this to us? I'm not finding her profile.
Yeah, what's your email? I'm going to need the screenshot. Email it to this person. Guess who's a liar? But once I get to the modeling agency, I start digging into that. It's a picture of a plane, and it says BMG Models. Right? Reverse image search the photo, and it's just a stock photo of a private jet on Google. So then I click on her publicist's website, because apparently she told Hadley she's PR trained. So on her Facebook, you click on the link, and it's a broken link. It's a GoDaddy.com saying nothing exists.
I forgot about the PR trained.
So awesome. Absolutely wild.
So there's also fake paparazzi photos of Michelle, and Brett and Hadley figure out the truth on those and also call out her fake Stan accounts.
Fake Stan
Which
accounts.
is so awesome.
Yeah. Now, if you don't know what a Stan account is, and I'm sure most of you do, it's like, you know, a fan page, basically.
Yeah,
like someone will make...
someone who's like a huge fan of you.
And normally it's for big celebrities, music artists, actresses, actors, but they normally hype comment on your post.
Right.
And so she has these fake Stan accounts, allegedly, where she is commenting on photos of herself. This is so embarrassing.
Dude, if I got caught doing that, I would just crawl into a fucking hole.
Dude, Michelle, you got caught up in the wrong situation with the wrong people. This is like, oh my God. And now the whole internet is seeing it. So let's take a listen.
The paparazzi photos. I find the website that photo is
That's
posted
fucking
to.
awesome.
The nail salon with paparazzi up front. Turns out the guy who runs the website, he has his name underneath all the stock photos. Hadley finds his LinkedIn profile, and this man is paid to go take pictures of people.
Which is a very common thing.
You had this suspicion for months.
Yeah, well, you pause.
People do this all the time.
Oh, yeah. It's super, super
People
common.
will literally call up paparazzi and be like, hey, I'm going to be at this location at this time.
Yeah.
Pull up.
Even big celebrities.
Yeah.
Like Kardashians do it. Kanye West has done it.
Uh-huh.
The Baldwins, I believe, Hilaria has done
it's
it.
very common to do.
Yeah, it is.
Which I'm like, we should
do it for ourselves. Do you think anyone does that here in Denver?
we should call up paparazzi. We're at Chipotle.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Kendall Ray, is that you?
Mm-hmm. We're at the grocery store.
Yeah.
Because they always look so good in these photos when they call on their own. You can tell an authentic one from a real one.
Totally.
And we had a friend last week of hers reach out, and she confirmed it was true. Profile, Stan accounts.
Oh, I forgot about the Stan account.
Okay. So
making your own
not
Stan
only
account.
did she fake paparazzi photos.
Kind of love it, honestly.
This woman makes fake Stan accounts. That is basically just like a fan page for celebrities. And if you click on them, the comments in there, it's so clearly, Michelle commenting about pictures of herself.
Real woman in this situation, especially a Southern lady, would handle herself with grace.
A Southern lady, huh?
Damn. Absolutely wild. What is her Instagram account? I just want to take a quick peek-see for myself.
I think it's
at Michelle.
Michelle L-Y.
Oh, yeah. It's like
V-U.
L-Y-V. Okay, got it. So she's got 18,000 followers, which on Instagram, that's not that hard to rack up. Plus, you can pay for followers as well, which I wouldn't put it past her. Obviously, I have nothing to back that up, but for someone with an Instagram account that size to have Stan accounts and paparazzi, that is just not adding up in general. Also, the lies continue, guys. It gets even worse. She also claims to be a reality TV star. You'd think that would be something really hard to lie about because there would be proof.
Right,
of you
where's
on
the show?
TV.
Right.
And even more than that, she also claims to be a professional MMA fighter. We love it for you, Michelle.
Hell yeah.
She's created a whole false reality for who she is.
Yep, that's right.
Let's take a look. Hell yeah, Michelle.
Get into her being a reality TV star, and this is, without a doubt, the worst thing I've ever put my eyes on.
We ain't just scratchy, we ain't just classic. We some real deal motherfucking stuff. I don't even think y'all motherfucking ready. Y'all on a mega platform. When this shit airs, it's gonna be the biggest shit going.
When it airs.
In the industry is scared about this show. Everybody calling. Go outside, it's gonna be everywhere.
I do MMA, baby. I was a professional MMA fighter.
And if you think it stops there, it doesn't. We're about to move on to the next part of the web, and that one is titled Don't Fuck with Hadley.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's where we are today.
Mm-hmm.
So this reality show, this never aired. Where did he even source that from? Where's
I know.
that clip
I'm
from?
so curious where it's from.
I don't think we know. Because I don't think it's been... Because in the show, they're talking about when this airs. So she has dreams. She aspires to be a reality TV star, it seems. This is not picked up, certainly not on Bravo or anywhere you would know about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't see anything about the reality show, but...
Damn, she's 34. Girl, you're way too old to be making up lies like this all over the internet.
No one's ever too old for a good lie on the internet.
But you think you'd be mature enough to realize that people are going to figure this shit out.
Oh, it's called Stunna Girls, a new series, Stunna.
Stunna Girls?
She posted this May of 2024. Get ready to see me and some other baddies on the new TV show Stunna Girls. I am officially part of Stunna Girls cast, so make sure to tune in.
Okay, but where do we tune in and when?
It says, let's see, make sure
Red
to
Rum
tune in.
TV.
Uh-huh.
What is Red Rum TV? Streaming the best TV shows and movies. We've got 10,000 followers. Join the revolution.
It's called Stunna House.
Oh, there's Stunna Boys.
Stunna Girl, this is according to Google. Okay, I think it actually was something that was released.
Was it? Okay.
It premiered in 2024. The show follows the lives of a group of young women with the first season set in Bel Air. And yeah, it's produced by Red Rum TV and is available on Look Who and Lux Network. There you
okay. Well, as of May of 2024, so almost a year ago, they are also casting for Stunna Boys. If anyone's interested, maybe you know a Stunna Boy in your life.
Dude, we should watch this.
Yeah, I'd be down. We could check this out. Maybe we'll try to take a little look-see at Michelle's show over the weekend, and we'll come back to you guys on Monday with our thoughts.
Oh, it's on Vimeo. Oh, here we go. Sneak peek. Oh, I think this is what we just watched. Okay, great.
So maybe it's not even available. I don't know. We'll have to look more into that.
I don't know. It might not be available. I don't know what these production companies, like where they're available, but
so she's
anyways.
Certainly not a reality TV star. She has been on a reality TV show, but we could make her own reality TV
Maybe we should.
Maybe we already kind of do. This show's pretty real.
If we had our own reality TV show, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'd be down.
Now, we do have to give credit where credit is due, okay? Because this morning, or actually I think it was yesterday technically, Michelle posted on social media, she went on Instagram on her stories and was posting some proof, okay, that she did in fact do some photo shoots in the past with BMG modeling, and she shares the 2014 edition of Queen of the Universe where she was representing Vietnam. And this is from her Instagram story. We can take a look.
All right, guys, I think this is so ridiculous that I have to address this, but I'm going to come with receipts. I just feel so sick right now. The ones that know me, you guys know I've been in and out of the hospital. I'm not looking for sympathy. I'm just letting you guys know I have no energy for this BS.
Oh,
but
wish you the best.
Here you go. This is my modeling comp card when I was 18 years old. I was signed with BMG from 2009 to 2014. I was first scouted by BMG models and signed with Orlando and Miami. I went with my friend Shelby Duff to one of her shows, and they liked me. They hired me, and I was signed. Fast forward, I ended up moving to LA. They switched me to the LA office. So this is it. Here is the website that they gave me. So I had to put all my stuff together. LA casting right here. Oh, that's Model Wire. For the models, you know what LA casting is. You know what Model Wire. All right. Mind you, I am 34 today. This is when I was literally 18. New York, Orlando, whatever. But there you go. Queen of the Universe book. Do you see this? 2014 edition. Never once have I claimed that I was a title holder today. Never claimed that I was signed with an agency today. There I am. There are my sponsors. There's Paul from 3-6 Mafia. It's there.
So she's got the receipts. Now, I don't know a lot about BMG, but I was just doing some Googling, and there's some people on there that are saying that they're kind of the like, when you're a kid and you're like, I want to be a model, and you like go to those random agencies and they're like, yeah, totally, you could make a star, but all you got to do is pay $500 for your first shoot, and then we'll go out and sell you, right? Or sell your pictures, whatever. Something tells me it's kind of like that. On Yelp, they have 1.6 stars. Glassdoor, they have 2.9 stars.
Ooh.
So, I mean, I'm sure
it's really not something to be.
I'm sure some people have had great experiences with it, but I guess I don't really know. Like, this doesn't necessarily have anything to do directly with Michelle, but take it for what it's worth, you know? I don't know how legit it really is, but.
And she was in the 2014 Queen of the Universe pageant. She represented Vietnam. She didn't win, or she would have made that clear.
Yeah.
So she was never Miss Vietnam. That is a big title to say that you have.
Yeah.
And she clearly is not Miss Vietnam, never has been Miss Vietnam.
Yeah, she says former Miss Vietnam in her Instagram. So.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. It's been 11 years, girl. And it's still in the bio? Yeah, that's interesting. Okay.
And she's claiming that Brett totally humiliated her and brought up things from 11 years ago, and calling the agency was really stupid because they, obviously don't have records from 11 years ago, which I guess is true.
Yeah. See your point there, Michelle.
Yeah. She says, you've intentionally humiliated me. Everything you brought up happened 11 years ago. If you're going to make calls, be specific with your questions. How can you book a client if they aren't in your system anymore? It's 2025. I was represented from 2009 to 2014. You can say whatever you want, but never accuse me of being a liar or a fraud. So take it, for what it's worth. I do see her point of like, you calling them is, it's going to create views, but also like when you have the context of it, obviously they're not going to have me on file. So she then goes on to say that he's a narcissist and accuses him of cheating on Hadley, and says that their lives are, quote, as fake as her tits.
Oh, boy.
So she says, the projecting narcissist. If a narcissist is accusing you of something you're not doing, have ever done in the past, nor would you ever do in the future, it is almost a certainty that the person accusing you is doing it, has done it, or will do it at some point. Projection is the closest thing to a confession that you'll ever get from a narcissist. You two are miserable in real life. You pretend to have this perfect relationship on social media, yet you cheat on Nurse Hadley.
Cheat on Nurse.
Cheat on Nurse. You're as fake as my tits, LMAO.
Oh, she's fake as
her tits.
Her own. Okay, she was saying that.
You're not going to get a dime off me, but I do have bail money set aside. Misery loves company. So.
Okay, Michelle.
And then she provides like other screenshots from bookings from the time she was a model. We can put those on screen.
We've got a nice picture of her and Joe Jonas.
Yep.
Says, Joe Jonas supports Miss Vietnam. Do you? So I guess, can she use the title Miss Vietnam if she was in this? I don't understand the pageant world enough to.
Neither do I.
It seems like maybe Brett just shouldn't have involved Michelle too much into this without like confirming. He seemed very confident in his investigation skills here, and it seems like
he kind of did a dumbass thing. Why are you dragging her into this?
Yeah,
in my opinion, it's kind of stupid.
Yeah, I agree.
So
we haven't gotten proof about the MMA fighter thing. It is cringe that has these Stan accounts. She didn't address that. She probably would have if that was untrue. And then she has got the reality TV star emoji.
Right.
So she's saying, I mean, it's cringe. It's embarrassing, but probably shouldn't have been brought into this because he's painting a different picture than the reality. The reality is somewhere in the middle.
Yeah,
it seems.
Exactly.
And I think though a big reason why he did do this is because she was like the one giving Hadley such a hard time in the beginning, and so that I think he's just trying to
get
back at her.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, she talks about she was in 17 magazine. She did a shoot for Dave & Buster's, a commercial.
Slay,
which is kind of
I want to be in a
Lit.
Dave & Buster's shoot. I love that place. Good times.
She says, I worked so damn hard when I lived in LA. I want to prove to everyone that I could make a name for myself. It was never my looks that got me far. It was my work ethic and passion. Competing with thousands of others chasing the same dreams isn't easy in LA. I had to stand out from the crowd and network harder than anyone else, especially as an Asian woman. I've done a lot of amazing things when I was young, and I refuse to let a fraud discredit me because he lacks the talent and drive to be successful on his own. Why are they so focused on my past? What are they doing? What were they doing back then? I don't have time to dig up dirt on them. I'm too grown and busy. So, I mean, I get where she's coming from. I think it's stupid that he's like bringing this all up. What's the point? It doesn't really have anything to do with what you're talking about originally, but still, nonetheless, wanted to touch on it.
Yeah,
So,
well, he brought it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so let's move into part 10. Maria's Web of Lies.
Yeah.
One post, one name, and suddenly everything clicked. Let's find out. So as Brett said, there was more to the story. Part 10 dropped after we recorded Monday. So here's a quick recap of what he shared in the newest part of the series, which came out yesterday, Tuesday. And he mentioned that part 11's coming down the pipe soon, guys. So keep an eye out. And maybe we will revisit next week. I think we probably will.
Yeah.
So he introduces a few new people in part 10 that we haven't heard of so far. So incoming Amanda M. Skeleton. She is introduced as Maria's supposed best friend. Now, Amanda has been messaging Hadley on social media and posted that she lost custody of her kids and tagged Hadley on social media. And it was likely on Facebook, since that's where she is the most active. And Hadley sees the post about her and kindly DMs Amanda and tells her that information is inaccurate. She said, "Hey, Amanda, ! I can only assume you've been lied to by Maria, so I don't blame you at all. I have primary custody over all my kids, always have. I just want to clear that up." So pretty friendly, reaching out to her. Amanda responds, though, and says that Hadley, or tells her that Brett is a liar and that he could have handled this situation privately. She says, "I'm not sure why you are condoning such behavior. You are obviously a well-educated woman and you are standing beside a dude who is blatantly slandering her. Something is redacted, truly not his, fair enough. Could that not have been handled privately? Is there proof that Maria absolutely knew before?"
And I think
Maybe
the thing that's
you're
redacted is the kid's name.
Yeah. If is not hers. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Not his. Maybe you're being lied to. They were actively trying to make a baby for weeks, and not to mention he willingly signed a birth certificate without a DNA test. True. Dumb. And now he wants to make a story for social media. It's tacky. No matter which way you paint it, do better. This video is on. I hate when people say do better. It's so annoying.
Do better.
Do better. Then Amanda doxes Brett and Hadley by posting their home address online.
That's wild.
That is fucked up.
That is, anyone who doxes people is so fucking evil for doing that.
Yeah.
I don't care how bad of a human that person is. They do not deserve to be doxed. It is
dangerous.
So fucked up. Should have come with serious legal consequences.
Sometimes it can.
Yeah, but sometimes not.
Yeah. So then Amanda is continuing to fight with them online, and her messages get pretty threatening. You're asking for it. I cannot wait to fucking see you. And then she's like taunting them about how I'm posting your address. Absolutely coming for your livelihood. Good thing you are a best-selling author. Good day. I don't know even what that means. Later, Brett and Hadley ended up at a gas station where Amanda showed up. And according to Brett, she was allegedly trying to start a fight. Let's watch the clip. The story is getting increasingly unhinged. I don't even know what to think now. It's like countries. Continents.
Look at you, Kendall, in your contacts.
I know, I can see
contacts
so well.
Kendall.
That's me.
Then she actually shows up to a gas station and tries to fight us.
She says, I should beat your ass up. And Brett's like, do it. And she's like, you know what you did. Crazy.
So that's, she was trying to start a fight.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess technically it could be placed into that. Yeah.
Technically, I would say.
She was walking the opposite direction.
True.
However, she never made any threatening movements.
It's
I would
giving
think
more
like
just talking shit. Yeah. She wasn't like, come up, pull up, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, so then someone DM'd Brett telling him about their experience with Amanda's business. So Amanda and her husband, Julian, God, all these people are part of this now. It's really
wild.
shaping into something wild. So they're the owners of Sunrise Sport Fishing, LLC. And these people are racist as fuck. is what we have learned. The person who DM'd Brett shared a recording of a call that he had with them where Julian calls the person on the phone should we even say
this is just bad. A bad slur.
Yeah.
And then calls them the hard R.
Yeah.
Afterwards.
The first one was like porch something.
Yeah.
I don't want to say any more than that.
It's
you can go like look at these.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you want to even listen?
No, let's not even listen to that.
Yeah, I don't even want to entertain it.
Up.
They're just...
It's bad.
Assholes.
And then,
Racists.
and you can see on screen too the screenshots.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just fucked up. And then Julian DMs Brett threatening to fight him. He says, hit me up when you get back in town so I can teach you a few things about how a man handles their shit.
Oh, damn. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Amanda tells Hadley that she planned on posting a TikTok with all of her personal information.
That's wild.
Yeah. Hadley made one video clearing her name, and Maria commented on her video saying, more and more lies. This was sent to my lawyer. You'll be hearing from us soon.
Shit.
So guys, this could like continue on for weeks.
Oh yeah.
Possibly months.
Yep.
The beef, it seems like it's just kicking off in
totally.
a lot of ways.
Yeah, no, this is crazy. This is some of the craziest beef I've seen on the internet in a long time, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Nice prime ragu.
Did I say prime?
Yeah.
A piece of ragu.
You were like A1.
A1 ragu. That's right, baby.
Okay,
Oh,
so
God.
then she also sent Hadley a cease and desist.
Yep.
So
crazy.
This is getting wild. Hadley responded to the lawyer with a letter clearing her name. We can put that on screen if you are wanting to read it. So why were Amanda and Julian so invested in this situation? How did they get brought in? Why did Brett make the decision to wrap them into all of this?
Mm-hmm.
Let's hear it from Brett. Who has this wallpaper? I would really like to know where they're shooting this.
Maybe it's his Airbnb.
It looks like an
maybe.
old, historic building or something.
I was gonna say it looks like he said his grandma's house
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
Because it is up on the wall in the back too. Like the whole room has gone globe themed.
Globe themed.
At this point, we stopped seeing Amanda and Julian just as Maria's loyal friends because it really didn't make sense anymore. Why were they this personally invested? Because we had the court-ordered DNA test back at this time. So why were they still going so hard over a lie? And just like we did with Maria's cousin Michelle, we went full FBI mode. We got quite the laugh out of these. And then we found this one. And that's when we realized that Julian...
So what he's referring to is a picture or a post that was from May of 2021. And Amanda is the one that posted it. And it says, I am so very sorry of Julian. Then it says redacted. This has been such a long journey.
No.
What?
I am so very proud of Julian.
Oh.
I'm so very
Sorry, I don't know why. Clearly, I need stronger context.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love that you were able to catch that. Great job, Kendall.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Sorry, I don't know why I said that. Okay, it says, I am so very proud of Julian. And then it says redacted. This has been such a long journey, and y'all deserve to relish in the glory of this first trip. I mean, look at that boat. Would ya? Cheers. Y'all have fun, boys. And it says, hashtag Sunrise Sport Fishing Biloxi.
I really love the name Biloxi.
Okay.
I would love to live in a place called Biloxi. Isn't that just fun?
Biloxi.
Biloxi. I think I've been there.
You have.
Yeah, with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Wait, really?
Shooting a documentary. Yeah, we
Yeah.
were in Biloxi.
We were.
Fun word.
For a bit, yeah.
Fun name.
And the guy that everybody's telling us is Maria's real baby daddy, they weren't just friends, they were business partners. We realized that when Maria got pregnant, that man was married with a baby at home. And in Mississippi, if your spouse can prove infidelity, they can take everything. The house, the kids, and the business. So if that ever came out, it wouldn't just be that guy's life falling apart. It would also be Julian and Amanda's too. So that's why they came after us. Not because we lied, because they always knew the truth. They weren't just defending a lie. They helped build it, and they've been trying to protect it ever since. And the deeper we dug, the more we realized this isn't even the whole story. Not even close.
Damn, that's an accusation.
Dun.
All right, so let's unpack that. I'm
Okay.
color me confused.
Color
honestly,
me
I am lost.
confused.
I'm trying to understand this. I Don't.
So basically, it sounds like the reason that they, had this whole lie, and the reason that
the lie being the baby.
Yeah, but they don't want it coming out because it's proving that she was unfaithful to said baby daddy, right?
No, it's proving that the baby daddy was unfaithful to his act because he was married with a kid.
Right.
Oh, because we
don't know who he is,
but we think that he's the real father of the baby.
Yes. And the reason why it does seem that way so clearly is because these people are trying so hard for them not to say anything.
Oh, okay. Now it's making more sense. So let me see if I understand this. The baby is actually Julian's, they think.
No.
Wait, okay. Never mind. I'm out.
Okay. So Julian and Amanda are they're a couple. They are business partners with this guy, assuming the guy that is the baby. Maria.
Okay.
Yes, but he's already married and has a kid, and they said in Mississippi, if you can prove that, they can take everything.
Okay, let me try again.
Okay.
The dad is the business partner of Julian.
Yes.
And so if his wife was able to prove that he was unfaithful and had this baby while he was married to her, then he could become bankrupt, and then the business would go under, and Julian and Amanda are tied into that business. So that's why they have stake in the game and they want to protect their business.
Yes.
Damn.
Very
this
good.
is wild.
Good job. Which is actually crazy that there's still laws like that.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I think that's really stupid. I think obviously being infidelity is terrible,
It's
but
old-fashioned,
it shouldn't
for
be
sure.
illegal. I just feel like there's so much more to this that we don't know. And
now I'm invested.
I'm
This is
so
interesting.
invested.
Interesting.
I can't wait till the next part comes out.
Yeah.
Hopefully, maybe there'll be a couple. I wonder how many parts this will end up being.
I could see this going at least 22.
22.
That's my guess.
Okay. So then we're halfway there.
Mm-hmm. Well,
damn.
Let us know your thoughts. What do you think of? I'm really curious what you think of Brett.
Me too.
Because I know Karelly was Karelly's really got a good intuition on people.
Yeah.
There's one, you know what?
I thought he was sketchy too.
I have to correct something I said 2 months ago.
Okay.
When I was saying that when the whole ick situation happened with Hadley, and I was like, everyone here loved him. I was listening to that back and I was like, no, I forgot. Karelly fucking knew early on.
Karelly was not a fan of ick.
Yeah, she didn't say it to any of us. I mean, probably for good reason.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of weird to say. But in her mind, she was like, I had feelings about him.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just a very
intuitive
person. So she doesn't get a good read on Brett. I do, but I'm a sucker. So
you are a sucker with peace and love.
Oh, it's okay. I'm my own.
I'm a sucker.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think this guy is. I think this guy is. Well, also, now that he's got a taste of some quick fame, I think he's really let me just play this up.
Mm-hmm.
Let me embellish some things. The fact that he brought in Michelle and all of the lies of that, I think that was kind of unnecessary. But it does add to the juiciness of the whole lore,
Yeah, I can see that. From the other perspective, I think, when you're the person that you love is being attacked on Hadley, once she got brought into it, I think he felt the need to defend her. But yeah, you could have done that privately. But I guess one of the best ways to seek revenge right now is to publicly expose someone.
Yeah.
2025.
Which,
I guess I feel sympathetic for him because it's just so awful to have gotten attached to a child and then to find out they're not even yours and everything that he put his parents through and everything. But again,
I think both can be true at the same time. I feel bad for him for that.
Mm-hmm.
And also I think that it takes two to tango.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. It's never as simple as, the one side that you hear.
It is a little cringe that he keeps calling himself we're FBI agents and we went full CIA mode or whatever. We're don't fuck with cats level now because you really weren't. The Michelle stuff is kind of, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's got his binders. He had to create a new binder.
You had all those binders and you weren't able to figure out that Michelle really actually does have. I mean, it's not a, legitimate reality TV show. I mean, you know what I mean.
That took me 5 seconds to find.
Yeah. Yeah. And she was a model at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so it's,
I'm wondering
Brett,
about the MMA.
I don't know. That was a little messy, Brett.
So, yeah.
How did he start out this whole series? Wasn't like the first episode that he did, the first part 1. Can you pull that up? Didn't he say something along the lines of like, I could get sued for this, or I could get in trouble for this? Like right out the
which
gate.
He definitely. I mean, they're all sue crazy right now.
Sue crazy.
That's a stupid term, but you know what I mean.
Like that. Sue crazy.
They're all sue crazy.
They're litigious.
There we go. That's more of the proper term. Sue crazy is more fun to say, though.
Go to jail for this, and I don't care. That is what he said.
Mm-hmm.
Here, let's hear it.
Which
Let's play
that's such a great hook.
Yeah, of course. He knows what
I
he's
don't
doing.
care.
It's such a great hook.
Mm-hmm. And I'm hooked.
I'm right. That's what I'm saying.
Why are you going to jail, Brett? What could happen?
I'm probably going to jail for this. I don't care.
Damn.
I've stayed quiet long enough.
He's ready
A
to
few
go
years
to jail.
ago, I agreed to be a sperm donor.
All right.
She said
that's
she
it.
just wanted the baby.
He's ready to go to jail. He's probably going to jail for this. So maybe this all ends with Brett in jail. Who knows? What do you guys
Dude.
think of this shit show? Let us know.
Yeah, let us know. I'm very curious.
Me too. We'll see where it ends up next week, y'all.
Oh, I don't know if you guys heard, but it was just a random thing he said. But if you see his tattoo, love.
Oh, it says love?
He got that for the baby.
Uh-huh.
And then that's why he crossed it out. It's like a...
Oh, there's a strike through in it.
Oh, that's so...
And that's alleged. We don't know that. Is that your...
He said that.
Oh,
like,
he
I
explained
think,
that?
Yeah, he said it like in the one, like early on.
Homie, why?
I don't know.
Because the baby's no longer yours? You don't believe in love?
I guess.
Well, what a messy ass fucking situation. I'm glad this is not my life. My life is pretty calm.
I am looking through her Instagram to see any MMA fighting
This
stuff.
is why
Can't
we
find
couldn't
any.
be on a reality TV show, Jan.
Why?
Because we've got nothing going on like this. What would our show be about?
I will create drama if that's the case. Like, they need some drama, I will create it for the TV show.
Like between us?
Sure, between anything.
Okay.
I'm down.
Mm-hmm.
She's
Maybe
a-
you like fake a medical emergency with Charlie. You have to, it's really like the ambulances, the fights, like that's what gets people in with the reality TV show.
Yeah, well, remember we called 911 one time, or I called the non-emergency line here because
Yeah,
I
that
thought
was-
there was a tracker on my car, and then the
And
cops
see-
made fun of me.
That was the biggest drama that we've had probably in the last,
Okay,
I mean,
don't
ever.
expose. I don't have a boring life.
Yes, you do. I'm sorry, we both do. I think we all do.
Yeah.
Compared to these people, the last time I had like true drama in my life was when I got that restraining order in college against my roommate.
And you are
and
just
that was the
clinging
last of
on
it.
to that for dear life.
Mm-hmm. Well, if I were to be offered a TV show, I wouldn't have anything else.
That's why we need to make something.
I don't have like beef with people or anything interesting.
That's why we need to make beef.
Why would you ever want to have this type of drama in your life? It seems
Because
so exhausting.
It's good for clicks.
Especially being like, oh, pull up.
Pull
I've never
up!
threatened to physically fight someone in my entire life or had someone threaten to fight me. I think I would cry.
Pussy. Just kidding. No, honestly, so would I.
All right, back to the rest of the show. We'll see you guys next week.
I don't know. Let us know your guys' thoughts. This one's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm curious what you guys think out there, because I
Me
could
too.
see people having different opinions on the whole thing. So
Mm-hmm.
let us know. And yeah, that's gonna be it this week, guys.
That's all we have.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
As always,
we will see you on the next sesh. But until then,
keep it fresh.
keep it fresh.